Hang on, can I tweak something? Oh, never mind.
Hey, welcome to the TheGeeksAttic, everybody. This is the Evil Dead watch along, the 1981 version, the original, directed by Steve Raimi, Sam Raimi, starring Bruce Campbell. And joining me in this nice little watch along is our buddy Adam from Bryant's Nerd Pub and Jeremy
Hello.
from Super Chainsaw Productions.
Hello. We're in an anime now. We're gonna duel.
We're gonna push out to that.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna eat some jerkied human flesh.
do that. I've got my water with a little hideaway figure on there. Adam, you should recognize the hideaway guy.
Oh yeah.
Looks like Sasquatch there. Pizza joint here in Oklahoma.
Oh,
I got Jurassic Park with coffee.
I thought it was a juggalo on your cup.
Dino urine. Hey, Quality Autism, welcome. We're gonna start watching The Evil Dead here in just about a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You guys like this film?
Oh, I love this film.
Yeah.
I've only seen it once.
I'm so excited to talk about this and the whole series and the remake, specifically my horrible watching the remake in theaters.
Yeah, I never saw it. I avoided that, and I know that the Thing remake, which I avoided.
We'll talk about that. We'll get
to that.
Awful horror remakes.
Right. Yeah, we'll do that afterwards. But yeah, I always loved The Evil Dead. I know there's some cheesy parts in it that people like to laugh at, but I have this way of removing myself from. I don't know how to really describe it, but like I could separate myself from the silliness and put myself in the situation and just be completely creeped out by what they were going for. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I know a lot of people that have watched this nowadays are like, haha, that was so stupid. It looks so fake. It's like, yeah, but don't look at it as a play, I guess. Look at it as like an actual event happening.
Don't compare it to 13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts? I haven't heard of 13 Ghosts. But I've got it pulled up on Netflix. You guys have yours pulled up on Netflix?
Yeah.
Just need to hit play.
Okay, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and go. And on the word go, we can hit play. Sound good?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right. I just hit play. Renaissance Pictures presents. You guys good?
I'm good.
Gucci.
Awesome.
The Evil Dead.
I'm just hoping we don't get the movie audio in this on my end.
Not hearing anything on your end yet.
Well, I'm not hearing anything on my end.
Watch out for that stick. Oh.
Yep. See, I always loved how gritty this is. I know it's just how the film was back then, but
well, they couldn't afford to do certain things, so they couldn't afford something like a Steadicam.
Right.
So they literally had two guys, and they mounted the camera to a 2x4, and they ran with it.
Brilliant. Now, as you're in film school, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, it's one of the movies that made me want to make films.
Yeah. Okay. See, I know, like when I was a kid, when we and my friends would make movies. Before I even saw this, a lot of the stuff that we did was like as you see right here. You know, you get the demon thing point of view running through the woods. We did crap like that. Wow. I love the setting.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I put the subtitles on so we don't get the copyright.
There we go.
The young Bruce Campbell. Very
young. They basically got what little money. This was made under $1 million. I think it was like $800,000. They got the money because Sam Raimi, Ted Raimi, and Bruce Campbell made a student film. They got money from that, I guess, to make this. Which the student film is basically this.
Yeah.
On an even smaller budget, on like Super 8 film.
Speaking of Sam Raimi, did you guys know that Bruce Campbell was supposed to be Mysterio in the Raimi Spider-Man movies?
You know he's in every one of the Raimi Spider-Man movies?
Yeah. A brief cameo.
He was
It
supposed to be.
becomes less brief as the series went on. Remember him with his awful French accent in Spider-Man 3?
Oh yeah, Peter Pecker.
It's the only reason to watch that movie.
Like Quality Autism says in the comments, forget Bruce Campbell's bad haircut in this film. Yeah, it is pretty terrible.
It's very. They filmed this in '79 and didn't get released till '81. Right on the cusp of the decade, right there.
What's sad is when you lose your hair like I am, every haircut looks good.
You want some of mine? I'll give you some of mine, Adam.
You actually have good hair, but I like your hair.
Bridge, travel at own
I'll give you
risk.
some of my chest hair.
I'd rather go bald.
It's soft. I condition it.
Perfect timing to say that, right?
I love it. Bruce Campbell steals this movie.
Yes, he does. He steals everything he's in my opinion.
I was just watching in this movie. I think it was called The Escort. It came out like 4 years ago. It's like a romantic comedy, but he's in it as like a dad.
Yeah.
He's like a rock and roll like producer dad. So it's Bruce Campbell as a stoner. It's really funny.
Didn't he like play Elvis or something?
Yes.
Yeah, and Bubba Hotep.
That's what it's called. Yeah.
I loved this scene. I always thought it was pretty creepy, and it was also that scene was in Donnie Darko. If you guys have seen Donnie Darko,
yeah.
He goes to the theater. There's like some Halloween, what do they call those things? Marathons going on. And this was playing.
Yeah, the meat suit comments in that scene, right? It's like the only thing anyone remembers from that movie. Have you seen S. Darko, the sequel to Donnie Darko?
No.
Don't.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't even like Donnie Darko, if I can be contrarian. I have never been a fan of that movie, and it's one of those ones that are like, oh, you gotta watch it a couple times. So I've watched it a couple times, and I just don't like it.
I don't know why, but for some reason the swing that's swinging by itself should have been like the first clue to like get back in the car and turn around.
Oh, yeah.
It's like in Amityville Horror when the house tells them to get out.
Yeah. Why don't you listen? See, I love this, how like the awkwardness of it,
They're like, we're right behind you.
Yeah. This makes me want to get a little cabin out in the woods.
I was about to say that probably would be me in a horror film. Like everybody, all my friends would be like, "Hey man, go check it out for us. We're right behind you."
Yes. Quality Autism asks, has anybody ever seen My Name is Bruce? Yes.
Yes.
I don't think I have yet.
Oh, do yourself a favor and watch it. I love it.
Okay.
It's really funny.
It's so funny.
Have you all watched the Ash vs. Evil Dead series?
I have not.
I have not.
I watched the first season of it. It was pretty fun, but we all know me and sticking with television series that aren't called Highlander. It's like not possible. I mean, I'm so far behind at the Clone Wars, it's not even funny.
Same here.
Well, you're further behind than I am. I'm only 3 episodes behind.
I'm fully caught up. So.
Well,
I'm sorry. It's like a genie in the bottle. I say Highlander, Matt
it just pops up. Yeah, that's funny. Hey, Yakface says he just saw Amityville Horror for the first time a few days ago. Weird.
That's a good one. Don't watch the remake with Ryan Reynolds. He's not intimidating at all, and it just doesn't work.
Why is it that the cabin is like very desolate, but they have the nicest clock in the world?
It's actually a cabin.
Say what?
Yeah.
What did I call it?
Like they rented a cabin in the woods and filmed in it. Unlike Evil Dead 2, where it's a set.
Oh, I was like, so did I call it something different or?
No.
So I wonder if did they really rent it or just buy it out and just destroy it as the film went on? I don't picture them like having multiple sets to work with.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I don't know. It was a cabin though. That's probably where most of the budget went. If we can be completely
Yeah.
That and the end, the climax of the film.
I get what you were saying, Jeremy. It actually was a cabin. They didn't build it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because Evil Dead 2, it's a different cabin set. But they built a cabin out in the woods, but it's not what the interiors are for most of Evil Dead 2. That's a set because they destroy that when they do the blood effect in Evil Dead 2.
That girl's like, I'm going to draw the nicest thing in here. Hey, look at this clock. Who is that actress again?
I don't know. Not Bruce Campbell.
She doesn't matter.
Well, she looked familiar.
She's not so bad. She kind of hams it up, but that's the kind of movie they're in. Especially with her awkward scene we'll get to in a.
I think she was one of the only actresses, wasn't she, that took off with a slight career?
Yeah, so she was very worried when they filmed this initially that she was getting hired for porn. Just no one knew who Sam Raimi was.
Right.
And that's actually not uncommon. This is always just like disturbing to me.
Yes.
That's how I draw.
Same.
Okay, her name, is this Cheryl?
Like the character?
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
I can't.
Everybody's picture on IMDb is a little bit different now.
Are they all modern now?
Yeah, it shows their picture of like today, not from the film, which would be really helpful.
Well, it's like
I love everything that happens with that door. It freaks me out.
Yeah.
It's so weird that like all these older films with just the cheap effects are more scarier than what's shown today.
It's just that they know what they're working with. If you watch some of the Blumhouse films are like this, where they have these low budgets, so they have to use like everything they can.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you all see The Invisible Man?
No.
Not the new one.
Oh, it's incredible.
I want to.
Genuinely, like one of the best films, best horror movies I've seen in 10 years.
I want to. I mean, I love the book and the original film, but just me and my wife are just like, but we have to pay $20 on Voodoo or something.
Not only did I pay $20, I pre-ordered that Blu-ray immediately after watching it. But no, I this might be my favorite of these films. This or Evil Dead 2.
Mm.
Well, go ahead.
Go on.
Well, I was going to say about the effects and everything, it's just like with Jaws. Like, they didn't even show the shark until like the last half, and even that's more scarier than most shark attack movies these days.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, especially a film like Shark Attack 3, where they just superimpose people flying into stock footage of great whites' mouths.
With the freaking megalodon that changed like size every shot.
Or Jaws 3, when it breaks the window, it's not moving
for like 2 seconds. So like technically, that shark would have been suffocating if it wasn't moving that long.
Quality Autism pointed out her name, Ellen Sandweiss. It's probably a German name or something that Quality could say better than I can.
There was a TV show
of Evil Dead. Versus Evil Dead.
Yeah, Ash versus the Evil Dead. It
was on Stars.
That cable Stars or something.
Okay, I got you now.
Bruce Campbell's in it. It's really funny.
Yeah, I've been meaning to
watch it. It's really funny. I heard it went downhill. It only lasted 3 seasons.
I like Matt's comment. He says, "What offensive thing would you have written on your tombstone?" His would be, "Wish you were here."
Mine would be, "I'm right behind you."
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know what I would say.
I wouldn't have a tombstone. I'd just be in a nameless grave at this point.
I'd just have like a future date, like it's like 1985 to 31/27.
I forgot there were 5 of them. I was like, is that a continuity error? So, little trivia for you between continuity between all the Evil Dead films is messed up. Originally, in order to get this distributed, Sam Raimi had to sell the rights. So when it came time for Evil Dead 2, they wanted to reuse the footage from this movie, and they couldn't. So in the original script of Evil Dead 2, they were going to reshoot the second half of Evil Dead. That was going to be way too expensive. So they decided to just sort of do a remake of Evil Dead, but a sequel at the same time.
It's weird.
It is.
Matt Wilkins says, "What's another famous Hollywood book prop?" Book prop.
Book that screams at Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone.
The Tobin Spirit Guide from Ghostbusters.
I was gonna say that that book from the Hocus Pocus movie is what I can think of right now.
Yeah,
the 3 books in the Page Master starring Macaulay Culkin that are cartoons.
He actually just said, "Please don't say Page Master."
There is a book, the Necronomicon. I almost bought it once just to have a copy of it, but I didn't.
No. I don't know the Bible. Never. That's cheating, but like whatever. That's probably the most famous book ever, and it's in movies.
Yeah. What about the Sacred Jedi Text?
No one cares about that.
Well, it's not.
I don't even know how we ended up on the Millennium Falcon. I still don't know.
Magic.
I honestly forgot about those books.
They talk about it in Rise of Skywalker. Rey's using them to build her goofy lightsaber that she should have been using the whole movie.
Well, I honestly thought that they were still destroyed by Yoda, and I was just like, "Oh wait, no, they weren't. Never mind."
Well, that's a dumb scene. This is not a dumb scene. It's one of the best scares ever. We're about to see one of the rudest things anyone can do to someone. Oh, there's a subtle reference on the wall. Someone ripped the Hills Have Eyes posters because Hills Have Eyes, there's a ripped Jaws poster in the background. But that's an actual gun. It is actually pointing at Bruce Campbell.
Oh my gosh.
FYI, they couldn't afford blanks. Anytime they shoot the shotgun, they're shooting live rounds.
That's crazy.
I saw a mob film in college once where they actually had to use live rounds in one scene, and you saw it hit the wall close to one of the actors, and he was like maybe that close to getting shot.
Was it one of the 30s ones?
Yeah, it was like, I think the original Scarface.
Yeah.
I would love to make like a copy of that Necronomicon, you know, like just do the gross looking drawings and everything.
Just buy the Evil Dead 2 DVD Necronomicon edition.
Yeah, that's got the case. But like, I want to make a book like that, make it look nasty, dirty, and old, and then like when we move out of the house, like leave it in the attic, like that spot that's easily, you know, you can spot it.
I love that reel-to-reel player. It's so much better than when the nerdy guy who also looks like a hippie because we had to double down on character stereotypes in the remake starts like reading the pages like condom. It's like just, and then a gooey tree monster goes in a place that it shouldn't go in a woman.
Matthew, I just noticed something weird.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have put my TV where it did. It looks like from the view I'm staring at you the whole time.
Oh.
It's like tap.
Oh, Panasonic. I bet you they didn't pay to have that product.
All American Cornbread. This watch along is pretty groovy. Yeah. I love Army of Darkness too. Some of the best, most quoted movie that I use.
Good, bad. I'm the guy with a gun.
Yeah, I love that line.
Army of Darkness is like my least favorite because it's straight up a farce. It's fun, don't get me wrong, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I just think Evil Dead 2's humor is a little smarter.
Mm-hmm. See, Evil Dead 2, I have that on DVD, but I haven't watched it as much as I have the first one.
I think I have it. I can't remember.
But Army of Darkness, I've watched Army of Darkness way more than all these.
Have you guys ever put on a scary movie at night just to go to sleep?
No, I can't watch anything and go to sleep. I have to have silence.
Same here.
I have to have background noise. Like there was times I put on Jaws and fell asleep to Jaws. I turned out okay.
And it's better than going to sleep to like something like Hostel.
See, it's creepy that shadow is going back and forth out there in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Through the moonlight. Get the red lights and coming up from the dirt.
Yeah. Gosh, she kind of resembles one of the actresses in my last film.
You think we'll get our deposit back?
Is this covered in renter's insurance?
Hey, big deal. She's nuts.
This is the most R-rated of any of these movies, and it's not rated.
Really?
Yeah, it's not rated.
All American Cornbread asked about Ash versus Evil Dead, and I figured we were talking about it earlier. So yeah.
Yeah, I watched all of the first season, started the second season, but it was at a time when I got into cable cutting. So
I never got a chance to watch it.
It's fine.
Is it still on Netflix? I haven't even looked.
Yes,
it was for a point, for a short period of time.
I just saw it on here when I was looking this up.
Yeah, I saw it too.
Good.
We get a little foreshadowing.
Seems like a very uncomfortable way to sleep on a couch.
That's like how I sleep in a car.
Yeah, you sleep when you're driving?
Yeah. Doing a Tuesday treadmill talk, just sleeping.
It's such an awkward moment to do these close-ups too.
Hey there.
And then she does like
Gotcha.
a hair, like
I just noticed Bruce Campbell kind of has a unibrow going.
Yeah.
a little bit. This movie should not have been remastered in 4K. It actually did. It got a 4K Ultra release last year.
Did they CGI the unibrow out like they did with Superman in the Justice League?
No one gives a crap about this movie and how it looks. Look how grainy it is. It's always going to look grainy.
Yeah. With that necklace, it seems like it's not a very like fancy piece of jewelry at all. But you would think in like the remake or just in a movie today, if they used something like that, that little glass piece would be something that reveals something, you know?
Yeah, it'd be like in Raiders of the Lost Ark. You
need to put it on the Necronomicon to suck the demon back into the book.
Yeah. No, and the remake was too busy having our protagonist get her arm stuck under a Jeep and her having to rip it off so we could have a one-armed protagonist like in Evil Dead 2.
Quality Autism says Campbell even said we're not going to George Lucas it.
It's so funny. If you ever watch this movie with there's two different commentary tracks depending on what version you get.
Mm-hmm.
One is Sam Raimi does a commentary track, And then Bruce Campbell felt like he had to. Oh, here we go, getting some TNA going on.
I was about to say, this is the scene where I was about to say, this is the scene where I would say, Jeremy, quit spying on people.
It's Jeremy outside the window.
Why is it me?
We're just messing with you.
Have anyone? That's Dylan.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's Dylan at my parents' house looking at my mom.
Yeah. Hey Dylan, how come you didn't join the stream when we talked about Star Wars books? Oh, standing outside Cheryl's cabin window. That's why. You see, Quality Autism, he prefers the apocalypse ending over the theatrical ending.
Of Army of Darkness? Me too.
Hail to the king.
I like the I slept too long. I think it's funnier.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, that's a downer ending. I'm just like, that is in the spirit of the series.
Yeah. There's one of the things that I loved about that movie, Army of Darkness, when the chaos breaks out in the store, and he's like just firing one shot after the other. And
yeah, he shoots like 50 rounds out of that gun without reloading.
Yeah, but what's funny is like there's that part when like the cart just like makes the squeaky wheel sound for a second, like it's just complete silence, and you hear that. It's like what?
Here we go.
Love how big that moon is.
Golly.
The infamous tree scene.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I remember this part.
Well, you should. It takes like 20 minutes. It's so long. My mom. So back in the day when this first came out on VHS, my mom, aunt, and uncle like sat and watched this, and they were like mortified. They actually ended up rewinding this scene a couple times because they couldn't believe someone put this in a movie. It's so awful to think about. How awkward. Apparently, so a lot of it was shot in reverse.
Oh.
That makes sense.
And it's stop motion as well to a degree.
I'm trying to think. There was other famous scene that was shot in reverse, and I can't remember what it is.
I can think of a lot of them. The repairing of Christine in the movie Christine is shot in reverse and upside down.
That's not it. I can't remember. If I think of it, I'll.
See, Quality Autism says they brought that ending back in the TV show. It was awesome, but then they got canceled. See, it might be part of the joke too. It's like, oh look, here's a tease in Army of Darkness of what could come, and then the TV show, oh look, here's a tease of the apocalypse, and then they cancel it.
If I heard all those noises or something, I'd be hauling tail out of there. She's just like, oh no, where is it?
That tree's grabbing my leg. I better stand still.
Yeah, especially when I got close to my face. I said, F that.
Dylan, get off me. No, I'm just kidding. It's so weird.
Ugh. Well, yeah, it's such a bizarre concept, first of all.
Yeah.
That tree's just like, let's just take this robe off, get more comfortable.
You wonder if they took this idea from some sort of weird, like,
exploitation
film or something.
I don't know. Weirder crap was happening in the 70s. Ugh.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here comes the wood. It's true, though.
Yeah.
Close your eyes, Quality. I forgot about the nudity.
I didn't.
Of course.
No, the thing is, they try to do this in the remake, but it has no substance because we haven't been around the characters long enough.
Mm.
And it's not done for an eternity like this.
Right.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still going.
Still has the house shoes.
Well, they're expensive. You can't take those off.
Exactly. It's like my house shoes now are getting like some high mileage around the house all the time, every day, all day.
There we go. Actually pushing trees down. In the second film, when they do these POV things, because it's a lot faster, they actually attached the camera to a dirt bike. This is why it's even shakier. Is gone prior to the days of GoPro.
So my wife asked this one time, why is it in every horror movie there's always that one girl that forgets how to run and just falls everywhere?
Falls over all the time. Yeah.
So probably one of my, at least 2 or 3 of my professors would say it's misogyny.
Let's see. Let's count how many times she falls. She fell twice now.
Yeah.
And let's see. I see 2. I see 2. I see 3.
See, novelizations. This would be a cool if they had a novelization.
There's 3.
Oh, 3 right there. I'm gonna count 4 and 5 just because it took her like 2 seconds to get back up. Oh, there's 6. 7.
So what I wanted to say earlier was Sam Raimi in his commentary track refers to the Oldsmobile as like a classic car, and then Bruce Campbell calls it a piece of crap in his commentary track.
I need to listen to the commentary. I bet it's pretty good.
Bruce Campbell's has like a preference where like instead of the movie starting, it's like a still of him and he's talking over it, and then it goes into the film.
What's weird is the only audio commentary that I've ever listened to was for Space Jam, only because Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck were doing it.
Yeah.
Do we all know that I hate that movie?
No.
Space Jam. I think
that was the first movie I saw, and I was like, that was a bad movie, and I felt guilty about it for like a few years because I didn't think a movie could be bad.
I was gonna say, Jeremy, you should make a video about films that you don't consider films.
Space Jam, I will consider that a children's film. Barely. It has plot.
That scene reminds me of, you guys have seen Monty Python and Search for the Holy Grail, right?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
You haven't seen that?
What?
Not yet. I've been wanting to, but I just haven't gotten the time.
Oh my god. Okay, well I can't say what I was gonna say.
It's not the funniest one.
Okay, that scene reminds me of when the guard is standing outside the castle, and you see the guy running. The knight's running towards the castle, and he's eating like a nectarine, and it keeps going back and forth. He's like far away, and then all of a sudden he jumps up and he's right there. Because like that scene is like the demon was going like really slow,
I saw the rabbit scene and I saw like the horse thing.
Oh yeah, classic.
Oh, that's the same castle with the Spank Me girls in it.
I think so. I can't.
Yeah, it is. Which is the only like hint at like considered the other.
Yeah. That's why he's going there to rescue. Okay, yeah. For some reason, I had it in my head that he was going to the other castle. With
the one they storm.
The tracts of land.
Quality Autism said Luke getting his lightsaber with the Force on Hoth is shot in the reverse, and he actually threw it in the snow.
He may have. I don't know though, because I think that's being pulled with a string.
What about the scene in Return of the Jedi when the speeder chase through the woods? Isn't that shot in reverse?
No, that's on a blue screen.
Okay, I thought like when they were
early blue screen
POV stuff, I thought was like them walking backwards through the woods.
Maybe, I don't know. I think all of the speeder bike scene is shot it's a digital effect because Return of the Jedi is the first Star Wars movie that's a digital film technically. Even though it's shot on film, it's the first one to have a ton of digital effects. It's early CG. Lightsaber is, at least. It's animated in with a computer as opposed to hand drawn in.
It's awesome.
Which is why it looks better. Of all 3 movies, that has the best lightsaber effects.
I liked the lighting that they used there. They open the door, it's like really bright. Just some of those weird film tricks they're doing. Like right now, it looks like somebody's standing on the hood, like kind of jumping up and down on it.
Because they are. They aren't actually driving. They couldn't afford to mount a rig to it.
All American Cornbread's comment there. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
Yeah, that is bizarre. I didn't remember that as a kid. I saw it like later in high school, and because all my friends were like, "Oh, Space Jam, that's such a good movie," and I saw it, I'm like, "Oh, what a pile of feculence."
Had a good soundtrack though.
It's okay. It's an okay soundtrack. I don't even think that's that good.
I love the soundtrack.
I like the James Brown stuff, but I love James Brown. Specifically, have you all seen Rocky IV?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Where James Brown's singing with Apollo Creed? That makes me laugh every time. When James...
Yeah.
That movie is absolute garbage, but is so 80s.
Have you seen the Punisher film that Dolph Lundgren played in?
Yeah, when they dyed his hair black.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like meditating nude.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Not as weird as in Die Hard 2, the villain's doing nude Tai Chi, and he's just flexing as hard as he can. So the Tai Chi is absolutely pointless, because that's not the point. It's, yeah. Die Hard 2 is garbage, but it's like that certain kind of garbage where it's like dumb action. Oh yeah, the bridge. I keep thinking when they're doing things from the first Evil Dead that it's going to look like the second Evil Dead, where it's a matte painting in the second one.
I just thought it was when it said dangerous bridge. I'm like, well, that seems like an understatement.
Yeah. See, it's funny too. Like, where did he go for so long, and why did they park so far away from the bridge? And now
because they couldn't actually show it broken.
Yeah,
because it's an actual bridge. Why would you want to go outside after that?
Rob D, I actually still have that Space Jam game.
I didn't know there was a Space Jam game until Rob D just put it in.
Yeah, same here.
I think it's in my drawer over there. I still have it.
I can only imagine how bad the graphics look.
It was actually kind of amusing, but once you actually get into the actual basketball game part.
I'm just going to say this. Like, any 3D game from that era aged probably the worst out of any video game generation ever. Like, the N64 games look like hot garbage. Same with PlayStation 1. Same with Sega Saturn. Like, they just all look bad.
This part's really freaky.
Mm-hmm.
Like her voice.
We're gonna get the face? Yes, we are.
Yeah, so creepy. I think it's just so disturbing. Like, it's so creepy.
I just can't believe they hung the actor up.
That looks like the effects from Beetlejuice. Like, shake, 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 Sonora.
Oh, yeah.
At the end with Winona Ryder.
Oh, yeah. You know, I've only ever seen that movie once, and it was a couple of years ago.
I love that film.
My parents hate that movie, and I wasn't allowed to watch it.
I heard about the sequel that they were wanting to make for that film. It would have been garbage. It would have shown They would have shown like Beetlejuice surfing.
Tim Burton movies should never get sequels unless it's called Batman.
Here, look at the hand.
So here we go. We're about to get. This is a nasty effect right here coming up.
It is. It is nasty.
I'm gonna make this pencil disappear.
Yeah. Yeah.
And her scream is just the worst.
Just like some gore stuff, I just can't deal with it.
It's just the slap.
Yeah.
And then it falls
falls on him on top of it.
Don't. That looks like me when I wake up in the morning. I like how no one's stopping her.
Oh, I know.
She's like slowly advancing. It's like, I'm sure he'll be okay.
And how easy it would be for him to push that bookshelf off of him.
The obvious kick that was 2 feet away. And then that's just a freaking... I think that's Ted Raimi holding that up. That's
clearly a fake doll right there.
Yeah.
I have to say, I know that like that's their friend and all, but if someone like turned into like some demon thing, I'd probably use the other end of the axe.
Yeah.
They're not at that point yet, Adam. They haven't hit the what point are we at? Where the...
He kind of looks like Harrison Ford there, doesn't he? Like early.
Oh yeah,
looks more like Adam Driver to me.
And that's creepy too. How it's just like kind of subtly, she's just kind of pushing up on it.
Mm-hmm.
I just find it creepy.
I look at the moon. Hey, honey, he's like, you okay? Had quite a tantrum out there.
There's just a little bit of light shining on her face.
This is done so much better than the tender scene in Cabin Fever. You all seen Cabin Fever?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't? That movie's creepy.
It's really dated. It's just full of homophobic and disabled slurs. The R word is used a lot. And I thought it was just like for years, like Eli Roth was just trying to portray like terrible characters, but that's just Eli Roth is just a scumbag. But like that movie is like one of the grossest things I've like ever seen in like a mainstream movie.
Oh wait, that was a different girl that was in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 5 people.
I thought it was that girl that went psycho earlier. She just like passed out or something. Like I said, I've only seen this movie once, so.
What happened to her eyes?
So
that's
gross.
Ted Raimi. That's not even the actress.
Doesn't she change? Like her looks change again here in a little bit.
Oh yeah, when it's obviously not her.
Right. That was the day that she couldn't be there for shooting.
Well, Ted Raimi would step in as like a stunt person. And in Evil Dead 2, he's like the grandma that was in the fruit cellar that's swinging around on the ceiling. That's Ted Raimi, where you can tell that the costume ripped. You can see his pants underneath.
So is this film considered a cult classic?
Yeah.
Okay. So
It was because of it was due to fans that this got released. These were really hard to get on VHS back in the day. It took a while. Would you consider The Room a cult classic?
I actually have not seen it.
We need the next watch through. We all buy The Room.
I've been hoping they'd release it on Netflix because I thought they would have back whenever they were doing that.
Tommy Wiseau owns the rights to The Room. That's why you'll never see it on the streaming service.
You think he'd try to? I'm sure they'd buy it.
He is insane, Matthew. It's like if Neil Breen put his stuff on Netflix, it just never would happen. Oh, you all are familiar with Neil Breen from Red Letter Media, right?
Neil Breen.
He did like Pass Through and Twisted Pair and like.
I've heard of the channel.
Yes. He's got the black hair.
He's like the middle-aged man, but like he has like a god complex for some reason.
Like the leading role where he's some like hardcore dude.
Yeah, I mean, at one point he's like the embodiment. He's like an alien that's God in one of his movies. Yeah. And like Twisted Pair, I think, is my favorite of those because he's playing two characters, and they put fake facial hair on one of them to differentiate. So bad, but no, he's re-releasing all his movies on DVD, and it's something like $200. It's for DVDs in like jewel cases.
Now, are these movies or is this a YouTube channel?
No, he's a movie guy. Red Letter Media has basically made him like really famous because they've reviewed like at least 3 of his movies on Best of the Worst. But yeah,
Matt Wilkins' comment.
Such a dirty bathroom. Look how dirty that bathroom is. It's so disgusting.
Looks like mine here.
Ew.
Jeremy's like, I did some locations.
Oh, look at the tub.
Oh.
So in the remake, they try to outdo this scene because that character wears glasses, and they like stab him with a needle in the glasses over and over again, and it stabs right next to his eye, not in his eye, just right next to it to freak you out. Yeah, I love it. They actually lit something on fire.
This girl is on fire.
See that? She looks gross. Ugh.
Again, like people are just like
into the other
shelf. Just breaks completely.
But Bruce Campbell's like, why is this cabin full of shelves?
How is he stuck?
It's just a piece of wood on top of him.
No, there's one piece of wood.
That's particle board. It is. Trust me, I've broken enough of it at my last job to know what that looks like.
It looks like the types of shells you get from Walmart or something.
Yeah, those are particle board.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah. Basically, I call it furniture that you never move. If you move, just throw that furniture in the trash.
Yeah,
it's not going to move.
I bought a bookshelf from there one time, and I tried to scoot it a couple of inches, and well, to use the hokey pokey, I put my whole self in, and I took the bookshelf out.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
Yummy.
I think this is one of the first like body horror type films.
Oh my god! He's just sitting there like, I don't want to watch, but I'm fascinated.
So awesome.
Oh my god.
Awesome. And then the sounds alone.
Hey, what the little
trying to reach with the stump. Oh, gnarly.
Did they do something with the knife in the remake?
I don't remember the knife. Like, I don't remember a lot of the remakes. Some of it, I remember the end of the remake. She's like fighting something outside, and like the Oldsmobile is there just for recognition because Sam Raimi produced it, but he didn't direct it. Someone else directed it.
Yeah.
So they had like the cabin looks almost like the exterior looks almost identical to this cabin from the first one. And the Oldsmobile's there, but they drive there in a Jeep. And they're like there because one of the characters is like celebrating sobriety and they're trying to support her by having a weekend in this cabin so she won't do drugs. But before that, like unrelated characters are having like an exorcism in like the basement or something. It's really stupid. But at the end, the main character, because we couldn't have a male Ash, we had to have a female Ash, because the goal was to have them team up eventually, like do like a stupid like old Army of Darkness versus new Army of Darkness thing. But she gets like stuck. Her arm is caught because the Jeep flips onto her hand, and she literally rips her hand off to like get out from under it. And I was howling with laughter in the theater because this is awesome.
When he hit her with that axe and when she went down, it's like she popped like a balloon or something.
But yeah, what was gross too is like when she was laying on the floor, like all this goo just coming out of the wrist and stuff.
Yeah.
And then gets back up, to have it all happen again.
And yet that other guy with the axe just like walks like, I'm gonna investigate to make sure she's dead. Like, I'm getting the heck out of there. Matt Wilkins. I haven't seen the Evil Dead musical, but I do know that it came to Oklahoma City one year during Halloween. You remember that, Matthew? Yeah, at the Civic Center they had Evil Dead the musical.
I've listened to the soundtrack. It's funny. I don't know if it's as funny as the there's a musical of Reanimator, which is a great film, and that's really funny. Which, by the way, Stuart Gordon, the director of that, just passed away like a month ago.
Yak face. This movie left her in pieces.
Yeah, that's good. That's funny. Let's see. Rob D says it's funny when watching movies with my dad, especially horror movies. He'll point out random things like, "What idiot put up the molding around that door?" Quality Autism. The best thing about the remake was Bruce Campbell cameo after the credits. He just turns to the camera and says "groovy."
Oh yeah, I was so irritated that we didn't just get Evil Dead 4.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
When that came up, I was like, why did you even bother with Evil Dead?
More creepy.
Matt, the remake of Evil Dead is like thinking you wiped pretty good, only to have brown streaks in your tiny whities by the end of the day. Should have got the bidet.
Like how the thunder hits and lightning strikes whenever they throw the cross down.
Yeah, we got to have the sting, the sound sting, not the musical sting. So there isn't.
Maybe there's let's go on a hiking trail after everything that happened tonight.
Yeah, let's go out in the woods.
It's like, I'm feeling pretty lucky.
What a jerk.
I know, right?
I wonder how long it took for them to film this movie. They were pretty consistent with like the makeup, like the scratches and stuff that he had on his face.
I think they filmed it over a month.
Pretty
the
impressive.
Majority of it. The stuff with the actors, like most of the actors at least.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty impressive.
I think some of the stuff with Bruce Campbell that came back sometime later, because this was filmed in the summer of '79, but this film didn't get distribution until probably like '81 or '82.
Robbie says that is quite a comparison, Matt.
I like what Yak Face said about that lady that got cut up. This movie left her in pieces.
Yeah.
That's an awesome effect.
Here you go, Matthew. Matt Wilkins says, "Would you rather be stuck in that cabin for the night, or in the HQ of the female Ghostbusters movie for the day?"
Oh man, I'd probably take my luck in the cabin.
Well, you don't like that they couldn't get the firehouse? You haven't seen Ghostbusters 2016. They couldn't get the firehouse, but they show the firehouse in the movie. Instead, they live in an apartment above a Chinese food restaurant.
I read the book.
which leads to like bad jokes about not getting enough wontons and soup.
Yeah.
She's just sitting there casually, like.
It's so weird. I remember that film, like Ghostbusters 2016, pretty well. Even though I've only seen it once because I was so horrified. My mother was actually laughing at it and thought she still says it's a good movie.
Oh my
I remember
God.
a time when my mom would only watch classy things, and then like twice I've caught her watching just crap. Now she switched to Hallmark movies, which isn't as bad. But I caught her watching Pixels. And then she told me she saw it in the theater, and I'm like, "You paid money to see an Adam Sandler movie?" I was so horrified.
I like to point out that guy that just got mauled was gone 30 seconds.
Well, it doesn't take long when the trees are alive. Why are you slapping his cut?
Yeah, you'd think that would be.
I realize that. I've seen this movie so many times.
Adrenaline rush, maybe? I don't know.
There, obviously not the actress. Actually, it might be. Just beat up your dying friend. This is probably his best acting, though, in this movie. The not Bruce Campbell guy.
His skin looks nasty.
They all look gross.
Yeah, they do. Someone said earlier, I can't remember who it was in the comment, mentioned that they used like Palpatine eyes in the remake
of Evil. I don't remember. Oh, we were gonna talk about the Thing remake. So literally, the Thing remake is just a prequel. Well, John Carpenter's Thing, The Thing, is a remake. You all know that, right? I don't have to talk about that.
Yeah.
But like the 2011 The Thing is supposedly a prequel that has the same story beats as the original for most of it. But that was awful. That's an awful movie. Literally, they had a bunch of practical effects, and the production company said, "You need to CG over that. It looks too retro."
So stupid.
Just waiting for you to shoot. Oh, that's smart, the demon, to do that.
See, Ash, you should have shot her when she was laughing at you.
I don't trust them. So gross. Blood on her. Jeremy, do you go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask Jeremy if they have basements there in California.
Not in Northern California because we're on lava cap. It's very difficult to dig in the dirt after about a foot. Trust me, I did that for a living in high school. Did construction. Just digging trenches, just awful. But no, also, they're talking about in LA starting to do apartments underground because the city is so overpopulated.
I don't know why people would want to do that.
I don't know either when you live that close to a fault line.
Yeah. So they've got good quality jump scares in here that don't have a loud shrieking music.
Yeah, well, because this is actually like a well-made horror movie. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, you bite that gross thing.
Ugh. All right, that's probably swimming with disease now.
Yeah, he's infected.
I was about to say, when he said, let me out of here, I'm okay. I'm just like, no. I mean, it's just like, well, you tried to kill me and my friends, but I think I'll let you out. Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Time to pick up that shotgun.
It's like,
Yeah.
he's like, okay, you're getting a timeout. You have to stay outside now.
What are some actual good horror remakes in your
Looks like
overall opinion?
Huh?
What are some good horror remakes? Because it seems like it's the #1 genre that gets remade.
Before I answer that scene right there when he dragged her out, and she was like twisting around, like went underneath that spotlight. That looked kind of shot like a documentary. That looked pretty creepy.
Yeah.
He's all like the light reflecting from her white eyes. A good horror film remake?
Yeah.
Jeez, I don't know.
Is it cheating if I just say The Thing?
No,
Like,
that's probably the best one.
Yeah.
The Thing, The Fly.
Why? Yes.
Suspiria that came out like a few years ago.
Never saw that one.
Maybe seen the original Suspiria?
Maybe It. I don't know.
That It is the most frustrating movie because it's good except for the horror.
Yeah,
the horror is really predictable.
They were really overselling that, like, oh, it's the scariest movie. I went, like, me, my wife, and my dad, actually, he went with us, and we were like, this is stupid.
It literally was just too loud. It was mixed wrong. That was my problem with it. The audio was just mixed because the acting, except for, if we can be completely honest, the Stranger Things kid is the worst actor, and he's fine. He's just okay in it. The others are better.
I was gonna say Bill Skarsgård did really good, in my opinion, as Pennywise.
Oh yeah, no, he's fantastic. He didn't try to be Tim Curry.
Yeah.
He did his own thing. Those stupid ass moccasins. I hate moccasins. It mainly comes from. Are you all familiar with Sutter's Fort? It's a California thing. Mm-hmm. It was like one of the first settlements in California. The pioneers found. John Augustus Sutter found it and then became like a gold rush thing. Yeah. Well, I stayed there. I stayed the night there, but we were dressed in character. It's something you do in 4th grade in California, Northern California, at least as part of the curriculum. But I had moccasins that I had to make from like a kit, and we had to square dance, and my moccasins started to fall apart while square dancing. And ever since then, I've hated 2 things, like in my top 10 things I hate. One's square dancing, the other one's moccasins. Just the most useless of shoes.
Wonder what books those are. Is that actual dirt right there in his faces?
That's a rug.
Okay.
I'm trying to read the title. Some Parish. I don't know.
Probably Parish.
That book is trash.
Is that a Coke can?
Look how creepy that is, her in the back looking.
Yeah, that looks like Pennywise right there.
Hiya, Georgie.
Oh, God. That was one of the most genuine freaky things, I think, from that remake. The beginning with Georgie.
Oh, yeah. We all float down here.
I'm like, that is the most... That's the closest thing I've seen to Stephen King's vision of anything in a long time.
Well, the best part about that scene, too, was that piano music playing.
Mm-hmm. Well, the fact that it was... And it went on for like an eternity.
You can do it. Come on. You got a chainsaw right there. You can do it.
Look at the jewelry.
Quality Autism. The Blob isn't also a pretty good remake.
I need to watch that. I haven't seen it, but I've been wanting
Frank Darabont, who directs Walking Dead, wrote the Blob.
Huh.
Yeah, he also directed Shawshank Redemption and Green Mile and The Mist. Those are his 3 Stephen Kings.
Rob D says we need to find out what those books are and have Matthew read them.
Yeah, he'll do that before he watches Ghostbusters 2016.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Have you guys seen Frank Darabont's The Mist?
I don't like it. I really don't like it. I saw it in the theater, and it was I'm partial to The Mist. It's the first Stephen King story I ever read, and Frank Darabont's movie's fine. As an adult, I respect what he did with it. They should have just never made The Mist into a movie. Also, it has what's-his-face, who was Starkiller in The Force Unleashed, and I just hate his face.
Sam Witwer?
Yeah, I don't like his face. I know that is an awful thing to say about someone, but I just don't like it looking at him. To me, he could be cast as like the jerk like roommate in like a college frat. That's what I think of him as. I don't think of him as Vader's secret apprentice.
Right. Yeah.
Also, his Palpatine voice is awful.
I can't remember it.
He primarily does it in Rebels, he's Palpatine's voice. I also don't care for his Maul voice either.
I was going to say, his Maul voice, I mean, they made Maul very dramatic.
I hate that.
I'm not a fan of it either.
I hate that.
Stupid.
I've said this time and time again. How does Darth Maul poop?
He's not that's the thing too, that I was like, he's clearly on testosterone supplements to have the huge muscles, and he's like, I'm, the deep voice Maul, I'm gonna kill you, whatever. It's like, okay, dude. He'd have a high pitched voice with some man breast,
Yeah, Rob D. Yeah, send him to fight the monsters after he's been stabbed. That's part of why I don't like The Mist. There's so much overacting in it, except for Thomas Jane. If it wasn't for Thomas Jane, that movie would be unwatchable.
All American Corn
becomes one with the Force. But no, like my whole thing with Filoni's Clone Wars and Darth Maul is they took away everything that was cool about Maul when they created Katie Lucas's awful character Savage Opress. Because then all of a sudden it's like a tribal slave thing to be Sith tattooed like Darth Maul's was, when in the EU they had already explained that he chose to adopt the ancient Sith culture and get the Sith tattoos. Now it's like a magical BS. Also, he's like a pawn to, like, he doesn't have like any of his, like, a mind of his own. I mean, I get now in the new canon, yeah, that's gnarly.
It's a gross scene. Scratch the flesh right off his leg.
How could he pick that up when he couldn't pick up the tiny
piece of plywood?
Right, yeah. All American Cornbread said, why couldn't Vader's secret apprentice buy clothes without holes in them?
I know. I love that, like, all of his, like, costumes until you get, like, DLC. Or I think it's about, like, when you turn good in the game. They're all various degrees of tattered, like, rags. I like the Felucia one is even more ratty than the rest.
So are these actors, like, spitting milk at them or something like that?
Yes.
Was that supposed to be a railroad tie?
I don't know. Oh. That's what I thought happened. Yep. I always like that. I love practical decapitations in film.
Oh, that's so gross.
I was about to say that kind of.
And then they just buried her in the ground, which I love.
I was about to say that.
Oh my God, she's mounting him.
I was about to say that decapitation, doesn't seem physically possible, but then again, this is a movie, so.
Right.
No, not with a snow shovel.
Just like a doll head out there.
Yeah. I just love they buried that actress for like one cutaway.
I want to know if there's like a commentary like, yeah, they actually forgot that they buried me a couple times.
It'd be like if William Friedkin, who directed The Exorcist, that would have happened, and they would have kicked her probably on accident. William Friedkin like slapped his actors around and like threw them and like shot guns on set and stuff. He's a freaking madman.
I was gonna say we were talking about Darth Maul, but I was gonna say speaking of like Ray Park and decapitations, like he actually did a lot of the stunt work for the Headless Horseman in the Sleepy Hollow movie.
Yeah, he was. I think he was one of the head stunt people on that.
Mm-hmm.
There was that hot minute that he was really popular as a stunt guy in
he was
late '90s and early 2000s.
He was like Toad in X-Men, and
he was Scorpion or Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
I wish I got to meet him. I walked past him like I should have met him.
I would love to meet him. He's such a goofy guy. But I think he was just like he's a great martial artist. He was like a really good stunt guy.
Yeah, I saw a video where someone got a custom double-bladed lightsaber made, and they asked him to do some tricks, and he's a beast.
Uh-huh. You should follow his Instagram.
Oh, jeez.
He posts so much because he's also now into like being a DJ and doing electronic music.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's fun, nice and gnarly. I love this camera work.
Yeah, just a run through.
This kind of reminds me of those levels in the Call of Duty games where there's zombies and you have to like board up windows to keep the zombies from getting in.
Oh, here we go. Into the fruit cellar.
That's so gross.
Oh,
and then falls down the stairs.
How is that not painful? Oh, ow, ow. Now it is. Probably is. That's like having an ingrown toenail and then accidentally stubbing your toe on the couch or something.
Do you want to hear a gross story about an ingrown toenail?
Why not?
I had a friend when I was a freshman, and he cut out an ingrown toenail with a steak knife. He was also on a lot of drugs.
Yeah. It's funny how this is supposed to be so creepy. Got to have that shot.
I just keep thinking of Evil Dead 2 when they just throw the fire hydrant of it at him.
In Army of Darkness when they he gets thrown down in the dungeon, and the walls come together.
Yeah.
There's just like that huge spout of blood that just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah. That was something they found really funny to do.
It'd be funny if Bruce Campbell shows up in the town and they're like, dude, you were there for one night. What happened? You don't want to know. I just thought of some other fun horror trivia. The Overlook Hotel from The Shining was actually the hotel that you see in Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, the hotel that they're staying at, that's actually the Shining Hotel.
Have you finished the book yet?
No.
I just finished Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, you told me. I have a lot of books to read.
Dr. Sleep was really good. Stephen King throws a little jab at Stanley Kubrick in his author's notes at the end of Dr. Sleep by saying, I don't know why anyone likes that movie.
Yak Face says, film projector and shelves are the only things that can stop him.
Oh, that's the most horrific thing in this movie. Stepping in a puddle and moccasins.
Ew.
Yeah.
It was like the second. Like the top two things, the tree assault and then stepping in that nasty puddle of blood water in a moccasin.
With her leg also, I think that was the same leg that had the cut all the way down
I'm just saying, he's probably got Hep C.
Yeah.
I was about to say he's got
tetanus.
Yeah.
I think this is the scene.
Different infections.
But go ahead, Matthew.
I think I always get confused with this scene. I always think it's in the second film, but it's the first one.
Well, some of it is redone in the second film. That's why. It's done goofier in the second film. They make fun of it.
Okay.
Because in the second film, the deer head laughs, and all the appliances start laughing, and he dances with them.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He goes batshit. That's the thing with Evil Dead 2 is Ash goes insane, like at the beginning of the film. So the protagonist is just crazy.
That kind of sounds like a psychedelic version of Be Our Guest or something like that.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, I was talking to Matthew in one of my podcast episodes that Stephen King wanted to do his own version of The Shining, and the only way that they gave him permission is if he'd stop bad-mouthing the Stanley Kubrick film.
Yeah, they let him do that awful made-for-TV movie in the 90s.
I haven't seen it.
Don't. It's not scary. It has really bad CG in it. Really bad.
Okay. Some
of the worst effects I've ever seen in movies that weren't made on the Sci-Fi Channel were Stephen King made-for-TV movies. Langoliers is an ugly film, too, which is another Stephen King. Basically, the only good made-for-TV Stephen King film... Actually, Bag of Bones was pretty decent, but it is probably the gold standard of those. Because after it, they greenlit a ton of them, and they're just all garbage. Maybe The Stand. I think people like The Stand. I'm not sure why.
So that was pretty funny. He like sticks his hand through the mirror, so he looks at his hand and screams at his hand.
Yeah. That was one of those, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that scene from Ang Lee's Hulk where he reaches through it and the Hulk comes out and grabs Bruce Banner.
Oh, the shot that was in the teaser.
Yeah.
That has no purpose in the movie.
Man, I almost got a shotgun like this at a gun show a couple of years ago.
Why would you get a single barrel, like a single shot?
Because it was $100.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah.
I was like, oh man, I should get this, but I didn't.
That's probably why they got it.
Yeah. There's no point in having a single shot.
Apparently, I've known people that that's the only gun they have, and they're really fast at reloading. Like, they can make it almost as fast as having a pump action.
Mm.
Like, that's how much they practice with it.
I would love to have a double barrel shotgun.
The Salem's Lot movie was made in the 70s. It wasn't part of that wave of them. From what I'm talking about is Equality Autism is like 89 was when they did it with Tim Curry. And after that, there was a whole slew of these made-for-TV Stephen King films that he had full control over. But he film is not Stephen King's thing. It really isn't. He has to have a director that will work with him, like best kid George Romero when they did Creepshow. That's the best. That's like the gold standard of like a Stephen King film that Stephen King had something to do with.
I'd like to point. Go ahead.
You might be saying the same thing I was about to say. I think her finger was poking out through the glove of like that nasty skin, and you could see her nose sticking out through the mask they put on her.
I was actually going to say, despite everything going on, he's a really good shot.
Yeah, I know, especially when he's shooting through a wall.
Then again, it is a shotgun, and so but
what kind of loads are they using? Birdshot or are they using buckshot? Oh, I forgot this is in there. Look at that tomato soup coming out of there.
I don't know if I could have been an actor.
And then he just... that looks like prune juice.
Oh,
He uncorked them.
Yeah.
He uncorked Oh, okay.
Bruce Campbell's like, now I know why we got this cabin for so cheap.
Oh.
There we go. That's not so.
See, like that wasn't a very good shot of her because her nose is.
Here we go.
Ouch.
I like how the hair's turned white too.
Oh, God! I forgot about this.
Oh no.
Oh. Ugh.
Oh, geez, golly.
Here we go.
Here we go. Oof. Right in the kidneys.
He's lucky she's using the wrong.
Yeah, that's
wrong
true.
Side.
It's like, and
he's gonna take a chomp out of him.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Is it the same leg too?
No, maybe. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell.
This guy would probably never psychologically recover from this.
Here we go. Oh, have you all noticed that between Evil Dead 1 and 2, the Necronomicon looks different as well?
Yeah.
I kind of like this one better than Evil Dead 2's.
Cool.
Now this effect's awesome.
Is this she melts, right?
Yeah. It's one of the greatest like decomposition, like stop motion things that it reminds me a lot of Raiders of the Lost Ark, which came out around the same time.
I was about to say, if you've seen any Christopher Lee Dracula movie, this is kind of the same. Like,
yeah, any of those Hammer, those are also really good remakes. Those are technically all remakes.
Christopher Lee was a pretty good Dracula.
Yeah.
The bones.
And Peter Cushing was a really good Van Helsing.
So nasty.
Now, this is where a lot of the budget went for this film.
Yeah.
What's weird is that this type of animation probably took like hours to do.
Days, probably.
Yeah.
I made a stop motion a little short that was 20 seconds long, and it took me 5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
To just take the photos. To get the lighting right each time and just move everything took me like 5 hours. Then Adobe Premiere has a really nice preset for stop motion, which I discovered. That will just run all your sequences the same size because they're just stills. You just set the speed.
All American Cornbread, I have not finished that Netflix Dracula yet. So so far it was okay. It was different.
Jesus.
My gosh.
Ew. I like how he's just laying there, just watching it happen.
Bruce Campbell, I think, is covered. Oh, with the cockroaches. That's a nice touch there. I like how he's literally covered in all of his friend's blood.
Yeah.
I think he's covered in a lot more than just blood.
Like whatever all that nasty stuff is.
Hopefully not cockroaches.
Demon juice.
Careful. That could be a whole nother film.
Oh, gosh.
Rob D, I think this is the first time I've ever seen Jeremy's room with the light off.
Maybe the last time. It's pretty dark in here.
I was about to say, I think the first time I ever saw it with the light off, you were bringing out your lightsaber.
Oh, that's true. I did that for that.
Looks good though. It's like you got the monitor lights on you, like a spotlight.
Yeah.
Works good. Music's pretty good here too.
Yeah. Stock.
It's tragic. See, the soundtrack to Army of Darkness is pretty good too. I have the.
Oh yeah, no, that slaps. That's gotten like a vinyl release, I want to say.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if Mondo did one. Man, are you all familiar with Mondo Records? It's like the greatest like indie, like bringing back all these horror movies on vinyl.
The one that I want, I saw a movie one time in college. Is it Night of the Demons? There's a track on it, The Beast Inside. I want that so bad.
Are you talking Demons, the Italian film?
No, I think it's called Night of the Demons, I think. But there's a song on it that you can't find anywhere, and I think it's on the record. Could be wrong. It's like a real classic, cheesy, like 80s rock song.
Oh, I know what movie. Tom Atkins is in it, right?
I have no idea. Like I said, I saw it one time in college, and it had a remake.
Oh, I bet it did. It was probably garbage. Do y'all remember the Night of the Living Dead remake?
See that?
Yeah.
Where what's-his-face is just doing kung fu on the zombies? Oh, here we go.
Jeremy. Oh, yeah, there was.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay. Yeah, written and directed by Sam Raimi, produced by Robert Tappert.
All right.
Campbell.
That was Evil Dead.
Yeah.
As I almost play the remake of Friday the 13th. That's another garbage film.
So you think the most successful one to come out of this film was Sam Raimi?
Bruce Campbell as an actor, Bruce Campbell.
What do you think about all these other editors, and do you think that they moved on?
Probably, but not like you wouldn't know them so much compared to Sam Raimi.
No,
Sam Raimi got to direct Spider-Man, which is because his career was in shambles after this movie. Like they couldn't get work. That's why they made Evil Dead 2. Bruce Campbell couldn't. Bruce Campbell was in a really poorly received Coen Brothers film in between this, which I don't remember which Coen Brothers film it is. It's one of their early ones.
Quality Autism asks, would we like to see Bruce Campbell in Star Wars?
Yeah, I was thinking that the other day. Bruce Campbell, the Force Ghost.
I was about to say, I kind of want him to be like Spider-Man, just have a cameo in every movie.
Like every movie.
He's just wonderful when he comes on screen.
That was good. I liked Evil Dead.
I was watching. You remember Congo?
Yes.
He's the Congo.
I don't remember him in Congo.
He's why they go into the jungle.
I remember Ernie Hudson.
Well, yeah, that's also wonderful. Ernie Hudson does so much garbage, and he's such a good actor. It always upset me.
Yeah. I'm so glad I got to meet him.
Oh, you got to meet Ernie Hudson? He's my favorite Ghostbuster. He's just there trying to do a job.
He's like, sorry guys, I have to get my own lawyer. I love that.
If it pays, then I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, there's a steady paycheck in it. I'll believe anything you say.
That's what it is.
Well, yeah, like the woman was asking, like, do you believe in ghosts, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, stuff like that? He's like, well, yeah, sure, if there's a paycheck, yeah. I didn't meet him. I walked past him. I saw him at Comic-Con, but I didn't meet him.
Yeah. I wanted to share this too. It's one of the pops that I kept.
I forgot you collected pops. That's how long it's been.
Not really collect them anymore. I just have a few. that I like to get or keep. I haven't bought one in a long time. I take that back. I got some of the Ghostbuster ones when they came out, the recent ones.
Of course you did. It had Ghostbusters on it, and it didn't say it wasn't women in Ghostbusters uniforms.
Well, it had the Ghost House, which is really cool. It was like a 6-inch or taller version of the Ghost House, which is like.
Oh, I thought you meant the DreamWorks film, Ghost House.
Oh no, the
Oh, that was Monster House. My bad.
stuff. No,
that movie's terrible.
I only collect pops if they're like something I like,
Right.
like Jaws or something.
I only collect pops when someone says, "Oh, this must be up your alley," and it's not. Or if I have a girlfriend that's into collecting pops. I've had 2 of them that did that.
I have a feeling someone's walked in your room before and saw the pops and kind of give you like a questionable look, and you answer.
No, they go in the closet, and I just close the closet door because they don't focus on the pops. If my closet door is open, they're like, "Wow, that's a lot of Star Wars books in your closet."
Well, I was gonna say, like, if someone were to notice them and give you a questionable look, you would probably respond with, "Look, she was hot, okay."
No, I only have
she bought them and gave them to me.
I have probably 10, maybe, of like characters like this that I really like. I've got Ghostface from Scream. I've got.
Can I turn the light on? Is that okay?
Yeah, I've got Tim the Enchanter from Monty Python, Holy Grail.
There you go.
I'm keeping the lights. I'm keeping it dark.
Oh, that's your prerogative.
I feel cozy with the lights off.
I was about to say,
it hurts my eyes to look at the screen while the lights are off.
I think the real reason is the movie scared him and he wants the lights on.
Let's watch Resident Evil Afterlife. What a good movie that was. That was the one that was in 3D.
I never saw any of the Resident Evil movies. Are they on Netflix?
At least that one is. I don't know. I don't like them. They're hot garbage.
Let's watch it right now.
No, that's not. Let's watch The Irishman and be up for another 4 hours.
Oh my gosh, no way.
90s Godzilla's on there.
Let me turn this little banner off. Had that going. Well, I want to go ahead and talk about what we're reading now. If you guys want to talk about that, you guys want to share what you're reading?
I'm reading The Rise of Skywalker.
How far?
Oh, go on.
I know you said that you're going to try to rush through it, like really fast.
I am halfway through.
Okay.
I'll be done by Saturday. I've been working on a paper as well.
Okay.
That's due Friday. That way, so we can get to what you want me to read. Start doing that.
Yeah.
But I've also been reading some of the. I can actually, I don't know where that is right now, but I started The Rise of the Sith Marvel Epic Collection Volume 1. So I read all of the Mace Windu Tales shorts that open that up, which are all pretty terrible. There's one where Mace Windu caused a time paradox he had to fix, but it's a Tales comic, so it's only like 4 pages, so it doesn't make any sense. Also, the last one I read was Yaddle's origin, which was in Tales, where she was thrown into a pit and spent 200 years down there.
Weird.
As a Padawan, and that's why she gets accepted into the Jedi Council. She learns the Force on her own. And
kind of like a pity thing, really. Huh?
Yoda didn't want to put her on there, but like he got outvoted. Spoilers. Also, the thing to note is Yoda has a yellow lightsaber in that comic, and Mace Windu has a blue one.
Well, apparently they had a bunch of different colors back in the High Republic.
Yeah, they swapped things around when Samuel L. Jackson said, "Can I have a purple one?"
Yeah, I remember that.
He gave him a purple one, so the EU writers had to explain that away, which they do. I'll get to that eventually.
Because I remember in a video game, the Jedi Power Battles.
God, that game.
Mace Windu had a blue lightsaber.
Yeah, and Keanu Moody has a purple one, and Plo Koon has a yellow one.
I'm reading.
Yaddle had a red lightsaber.
Who did?
Yaddle.
Had a what?
Red lightsaber. There are a couple council members who did. Addie Galea? One that had robes on her head. She either had a red lightsaber or an orange one. I think it was orange.
That's interesting. What are you reading, Adam?
I'm reading Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void, and I'm like a
Good man.
third of the way through it.
So whose team are you? Are you team Jeremy or team me when it comes to liking it or hating it?
60-40.
Okay. You like it? You like it or hate it?
It's not what I expected. I'll just say that for right now.
Okay. Yeah, are you going to review it?
I don't know yet.
Okay. I think you should. I think you should. So don't give away all your thoughts here.
Okay.
You should do it. Since you're starting with book 1, you start your Star Wars book reviews off with the first book. But you can do whatever you want, of course.
It was just Jeremy was giving me that look. It's just like, don't worry, I'll be watching it.
Throwing that thumbs down if I don't appreciate it. I don't agree with you. Go put thumbs down.
As soon as you post it,
I don't like it.
I hate this. I like the book, so I have to hate you.
I'll just put me holding the book doing this as the thumbnail, and then he likes it, and then it finds out then he actually doesn't watch. He's like, yeah, he's got a thumbs up. He liked it. He liked it.
You what are you reading afterwards?
Godzilla.
Okay, cool. I'll go ahead and mention that.
Okay, well, I didn't know if we were allowed to speak that or not.
Yeah, I'll say what I'm reading first, and then we'll get into that. I'm actually reading 2 books right now. I'm making my way through. One of them is an audiobook, but I keep track in the physical copy. That would be The Phantom Menace.
Good audiobook.
I've been listening to the audiobook. I had I marked it in chapter 4 here is where I thought I was going to pick up and read it, but I'm in chapter 10 now in the audiobook. So sometime it's like I trade off sometimes if the audiobook's available. But I started reading Ghostbusters novelization.
Nice.
And it's got number 1 and 2 in here in this copy, which is now available on Amazon.
That's good.
Yeah. So in the first book is actually like 180 pages, I think. And I'm on page 64, so kind of working pretty quick through that. But I think I'm just going to do book 1, and when I'm done with that, set it aside and do part 2 at another time. But yeah, next month in May, we are going to start reading Godzilla, King of the Monsters. We started a book club. There's a group on Facebook, Paper Movies, a novelization book club. So we're not going to be talking about Star Wars books in that group.
You mean when I had my Alzheimer's moment because I said let's not do that, and then I asked if we were doing it a day later?
Right. Yeah, and I was like, what? It was like hard to say things through text too, because I'm like, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but Jeremy, we talked about this.
I can't even say I was drunk. I just genuinely forgot.
Yeah, it happens, man. Times are hard right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're not going to talk about Star Wars novelizations. We're just going to pick random film novelizations and read them or listen to them, whatever. And we'll have a whole month to discuss, to read. And at the end of the month or the beginning of the next month, we haven't worked out all the details just yet. We'll do a stream and talk about the book. We could review it as a group and just give our thoughts and compare it. Well, we don't have to compare it to the film because I think Adam was doing that.
I've not seen the film.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Oh, okay. So we'll have two of those opinions because I don't plan to see the movie until after we do our stream.
Right. But I'll put a link in the description box below here. And I'm sure, Jeremy, if you wanted to do that too, and both of you, and we have some affiliate links that we'd like people to hit on if they can.
Oh, yeah.
To purchase some novelizations that we'll put up. But yeah, that group, like I said, I think I have a picture of the
Rob D. When Matt's expanded universe ends, Brian's EU pub will be born.
yeah. Do it. Yeah. Yep. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I promise it probably won't have an Ewok in it, but
oh, org.
Yeah, speaking of expanded universe stuff too, I finished Outbound Flight.
Ooh, what'd you think?
Well, I'm gonna save. Well, I can say some stuff. I'm gonna do my book review. I'm buried under book reviews. I've got a lot that I need to get out there.
Welcome to my life.
But I'll just say that I was very surprised by it, and very positive. Very positive. So
Now, next time you read Zon, it's going to be crap.
I have a feeling that's going to happen.
But it's going to be probably at your pace, maybe next year.
Next year, or the
next year, you'll probably maybe 2 years from now. The next one's Scoundrels, and that's after A New Hope.
Oh, Scoundrels! Oh crap, I forgot about that. I tried to listen to that audiobook once.
I've never attempted.
I shut it off, and I couldn't take it. So yeah, I remember telling myself like, okay, I'm just gonna stop listening to this and read it when I get to it.
Oh, but next you have the worst Alan Dean Foster EU novel.
What is it?
The Approaching Storm.
Oh yeah. Well, that's after Attack of the Clones, right?
Oh, that's the lead up to Attack of the Clones.
Oh, it is. Okay, so I have it in the wrong place on my bookshelf.
Yeah, that's they're on Antion, which is mentioned in the movie.
Okay, well then I'll have to
solving the border dispute. Yeah.
There's the group photo on Facebook. If you're looking for paper movies, the Novelization Book Club.
Matthew, then I want to just throw a message out here if I can.
Mm-hmm.
Next Legends podcast, I want to get a bunch of people together, and we're going to sort out the reading order for the Clone Wars. Would you all like to be on there to figure that out?
Are you gonna have me on as the odd man out again?
No, everyone's going to be the odd man out because we need to agree on a read order. So in the future, when people are going through the timeline, we have enough people that can agree. Because even with Matt's expanded universe, I don't agree with a lot with some of it, and I helped him at the beginning start to put things together. But there's so much material. There's so much, and I think since Dylan and I discussed how to interpret the TV show of Clone Wars, and I think we can transfer the stories that are directly tied into Filoni's show and think of them that way as not necessarily accurate. Well, you have to with Wild Space. Absolutely have to. It's a disaster in the timeline otherwise. But we need to just decide how to read these things.
Yeah, I really need. I'm running into that time where I'm going to need to know. But again, I'm not going to be reading comics. I'm just focusing on.
But no, the novels. You can't agree on what order to read the novels in. That's how messed up the timeline is.
I know there's the timelines in books. Obviously, are going to be a little bit different because of like the order they released. But I'm pretty sure some of the Legends banner books have different timelines written out in them too.
That would make sense because there's an error. There's a couple errors in one of the timelines in, like, I want to say Honor Among Thieves, which is the last book in the hardcover. In there it puts Dave Filoni's Clone Wars movie novelization, I think, directly after Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
But I would personally at least put the Cestus Deception before that. Like that, to me, that happened. That's like the next adult novel. That happens right after, right at the beginning of the war. And I personally put Jedi Trial before the Clone Wars because that's kind of about Anakin's knighting. What I'm not sure on is where to put Shatterpoint, if that happens before or after the Filoni Clone Wars movie. Because once the movie happens in that novelization, Wild Space is immediately after that. Then you have to throw No Prisoners in between Stealth and Siege, which Stealth and Siege happened immediately after Wild Space, so Anakin had a one-off adventure in between those books. But he's barely in it. More like Ahsoka had a one-off adventure with Rex and No Prisoners. Which No Prisoners is pretty awesome. You're gonna like it since you've read some of the Bantam, Matthew.
Real quick question. Is Ahsoka in Legends?
In the novels?
Yes.
The 4 books I just said and the Clone Wars novelization are the only novels she's in.
Okay. And
she's barely in those. The most she's in, she's a side. She's almost a main character in No Prisoners. No Prisoners more focused on Pelion and Rex, which is a weird combo, but it works. I'm just going to put that out there, as well as Callistia.
Ugh.
Callistia, okay, I like her in No Prisoners.
Well, I mean, the only thing I know about her is like whenever I read about her in the New Republic era, was she's just like living in the computer system.
I won't spoil that, but there's foreshadowing to Children of the Jedi in this. But also, they make her sect of the Jedi Order becomes Karen Travis characters in the Republic Commando series, which you also get to read soon. Those are coming up. At least the first 2 are coming up. Which then you can understand Dylan's and my pain with Republic Commando 000 being one of the weirdest fanfic things we've ever read.
What were you going to say, Matthew?
Were you going to say something?
Me?
I think you were going to say something, yeah.
No.
Okay. Rob D says Christopher Nelson must be the one to talk about Shatterpoint. Yeah, I think I heard. Yeah,
he might have the best idea of where to put it. I want him on there. I want everyone on there. We'll put get quality on here.
All American Cornbread says that a lot of the Clone Wars era books aren't bad, but just boring. Quality Autism asked if I'm going to be reading the Filoni Clone Wars books before the Multimedia Project Clone Wars books, because I don't.
That's part of the thing. I put them in the middle. Because to me, Anakin got knighted a year and a half in, if not 2 years into the Clone Wars, not 3 months in, which Wild Space tries to say happened. I say no.
Oh.
And we could talk about that in the Legends.
Yeah, where I could get a paper and pen out and write some stuff down.
We're all going to be writing. There's going to be a Prezi. Someone's going to make a Prezi presentation.
Nice.
It's going to be Matt. Actually, yeah. Matt wouldn't know how to. Just saying.
I just remembered, I think my brother said that he was going to start reading the Legends books in order to. So
Good.
I just can't wait for you to get to like the Han Solo AC Crispin books.
I already read them.
I know you have. Matthew hasn't.
I have.
When?
A long time ago. I read those.
Have you read the Brian Daly ones?
I haven't.
Okay, those.
There's a handful of things that I read. Random books.
Oh, so what I do?
Well, it was like before I really got into it all. Like I read, Death Troopers. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. Oh, let's pick this one up, which would have been, I think, maybe the Han Solo trilogy. I think that might have been the next thing that I read, and then went into the New Republic era stuff.
I've been wanting to do reviews of comic book novelizations like Nightfall, but sadly most of the novelizations that I have, the comics are all Batman. So
this is the only good ones.
I was about to say, from what I've read so far, Batman's probably the only one that's actually really decent with novelizations, because I mean, I've tried reading a Spider-Man one, it's
Matthew, didn't Titan Books send you some of those Marvel ones to review?
Yeah.
Did you review them? I don't remember.
I reviewed the Deadpool book, and I started reading Black Panther. I think I stopped because it was just so dull, and they tried to
Matthew, I said Marvel books, not Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry movie novelizations.
What?
You know that Dirty Harry 5 is called the Deadpool?
Yeah, the Deadpool.
Oh, no.
Is that the one with the fortune cookie thing? He says you're out of luck.
Yeah, and they get chased with the by the remote control car through San Francisco that has C4 on the bottom of it, which is like actually a really good chase for being as stupid a premise as it is. It's pretty intense.
That movie just kind of reminded me though, like you don't want to mess with Clint Eastwood, no matter how old he is.
All of those movies are like that. He's just a jerk. He's a terrible police officer.
You got All American Cornbread, but have you read the Han Solo books that aren't English?
The Hungarian.
No. All American Cornbread, does he speak Hungarian though? No. Maybe. No, I don't. Mad Mashad describing the Clone Wars timeline is like that scene, that meme from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's Pepe Sylvia. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
I used to watch that show in college. It was the funniest thing. And then I stopped watching it. Mad Mashad also says the Spider-Man 2002 movie novelization is fantastic.
I think I actually read some of that, like when that movie came out.
That's the best Spider-Man movie.
I saw that in the bookstore all the time, but I never picked it up.
My wife was telling me that she was so excited for Spider-Man 3 and she couldn't wait. And so she actually got the novelization and read it. And then she was just like, oh.
Sometimes reading those things is okay. It's like one of those, is it better that I read it or should I have just watched it? Like the Ghostbusters 2016 thing. Like I read the novelization. It was like right when I was like really getting into novelizations. I was like, oh, these are pretty cool. You could read the movie and not have to watch it. But then you're spending more time in a book than you are with a film. So
it gives more perspective to characters though, and it makes sense of things.
Yeah.
That's why I like the prequel novels.
Yeah.
I did read part of the Daredevil novelization that came out. It only on certain
about
pages.
Ben Affleck meditating in that coffin.
That bathtub coffin, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's full of water.
Yeah, to drown out the sound. Like, man, he must have massive ear infections or something.
So Daredevil is a poor attorney. How does he have a bat fortress in New York? Like, how does he afford that? It's like a bat cave thing going on in Daredevil. I never understood that. I couldn't get over that.
That's gonna bother me now. I didn't even think about that.
I didn't even know that. You guys make me realize how much I don't know about any of this stuff.
Have you not seen Daredevil?
Mm-mm.
Don't.
No. I watched the Netflix show, but we didn't finish the last season that was released because they had already said, "Oh, we're canceling it." I think like as they released it, so it was like I'm not wasting my time then.
I was gonna say if you were ever curious, watch the director's cut because it's more entertaining. It's still weird, but it's still entertaining.
Bad. Freaking autoplay.
But it's entertaining. It's more entertaining than the theatrical cut.
Okay.
Christ.
The Call the Autism says that I don't want to read the comics. You have to read the Dark Empire Legacy. No, Dark Empire and Legacy. I would like to read Dark Empire because I have all of the single issues. I think
Legacy's awesome.
I was gonna say if you don't have all of them, you can borrow my graphic novels.
Okay.
Dude, they're getting reprinted too. Dark Empire should be getting released. I think it's getting reprinted this year. The Epic Collection, which will probably have all three.
Yeah, I know. When you would say Dark Empire, would you recommend Dark Empire 2 with that? Oh, Adam's gone. Oh, and he's back.
Yeah, well, it'll come with all three of them. You should read them all at once.
Wait, there's 3?
Yeah, there's Dark Empire 2, and Empire's End.
Yeah, it's a trilogy.
It's just Empire's End is only 2 issues because it got canceled.
Wait, they call it Empire's End?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it was so offensive that Chuck Wendig called his book Empire's End. And that's why it was even more offensive when The Last Jedi was called The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I actually have that actual Legends novel behind me.
Yeah.
I was so worried that Episode 9 was going to be called The Unifying Force. Like, don't ruin a really good book.
I heard Episode 9 was originally like the Colin Trevorrow thing was going to be like Duel of the Fates.
Yeah. I was they were going to
I didn't want him to make a Star Wars movie. He's a terrible director.
I was gonna say, there was like some interesting things in it. Like Rey would have had a double-bladed lightsaber. Kylo Ren would have fought like a force, like a vision of Vader, which would
Yeah,
be
wouldn't
kind of
he gonna like stay bad too the whole time?
yeah, I think so. Like, which would have been different, and
Yeah.
I honestly would have preferred that. But
what I would have preferred. Can we talk about Rise of Skywalker right here, right now?
Sure.
I would have preferred Rey dying, and then we have Ben. Ben is redeemed, and now he has to account for basically his sins, and he's on the path to redemption at the end of the trilogy.
Yeah.
that is something that I've noticed that neither Vader, or they never face the justice for what they've done.
Consequences of their actions.
And that would have been something original that I would have accepted, but we have J.J. Abrams who regurgitates things.
The closest that we've ever got to that is in the sequel to Force Unleashed, where Vader was arrested, and that was it.
That was stupid too.
I was just like you guys know he could break out of that any time.
Well, I think they were going to go for some sort of plot that he was going to just kill. He was going to get inside the rebel base and slaughter all of Rebel High Command. They would have had some stupid BS that Starkiller stopped him.
It's weird. No, I never bought the Rise of Skywalker on Blu-ray.
I bought it. I bought it the other day. I was boredom.
I haven't got it yet.
I'm going to watch this weekend after I'm done with the novelization.
Yeah, I keep. I'm going to wait until everything's open back up before I'm like, oh yeah, go get it.
Well,
it was at Target and it was on sale. They were full. The shelves were full of them. I just grabbed one. I think people were shocked that I bought it.
Yeah, our state is actually going to start reopening tomorrow.
They are?
Yeah. Did you not see that? Oh yeah, it's hair salons, personal care type places are opening by appointment only, and they said by May 1st they're hoping to have sporting venues and restaurants and movie theaters open again.
Wow. California will be a wasteland forever. They will never open up the state. Although Gavin Newsom, our lovely, illustrious governor, is like, young, healthy people should be volunteering at the old folks' homes, and it's like, you've told us not to even come close to them because we might be infected.
Yeah.
But I won't hold my breath that he won't get reelected for being stupid because I live in California.
I was going to say quality autism. I did actually read about that. Vader in Force Unleashed 3, it would have had Vader and Starkiller teaming up.
Yeah, it was going to be a co-op game.
And I heard it was going to be open world 2 or something.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Didn't even know they had plans for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Hayden Blackman's baby. Of course they did.
They canceled it when Disney bought it, didn't they? Or was that before?
They canceled. It probably wasn't going to happen anyway because LucasArts was a pile of dung by that time. I mean, they had invested too much money into Star Wars Connect. That killed their company. Just quite possibly one of the worst uses of money that Lucasfilm ever did was making Star Wars Connect.
What is that?
When the Kinect came out, they decided that they were going to make the ultimate Star Wars game with the Xbox Kinect.
Oh wait, is this where they dance?
Yes, there was that. There's a mini game where you play as a Rancor destroying Mos Eisley. There's a pod racing game that controls worse than Episode 1 Racer. There's really the main game is like a lightsaber combat game, but it doesn't work. That's the thing with the majority of them; they don't work well.
I need to
doesn't work well.
I need to connect on catch up on Star Raptors videos. He's been posting Vader Immortal, which is a VR game, and it looks interesting.
Yeah. I was not big on the whole gaming thing when it comes to that. I mean, I'm not gonna.
It's so expensive.
Yeah.
I have the. Oh, I'm sorry, Matthew. Go ahead.
I can't afford to do stuff like that, and it's weird to me that they're putting story out in those harder to reach areas. So I guess it's kind of like exclusive content.
Like, think of it from my perspective. The head of my department at my college, that's in like the media arts department, is obsessed that 3D movies and virtual reality is the future. So she has spent so much of our money on getting these VR cameras and like making VR movies. She is going to attack. Well, she was until thankfully COVID-19 happened, because we would have lost the camera. She was going to connect one of these thousands upon thousands of dollar cameras to a bull to simulate riding a bull at a rodeo. And I literally was like flabbergasted. I'm like, that's my tuition. That is a waste of. Actually, no, the media arts department doesn't get any of the tuition money and never makes it there. We have to beg rich people to fund our program.
It was, I was about to say, it's like the world is slowly becoming that movie Ready Player One.
Ugh, what an awful movie.
I never watched it. I've had the book for quite a long time.
It's an awful book, too.
See, I got it in one of those Loot Crate boxes a long time ago.
Oh, God. I remember you were into Loot Crate.
Yeah, it's just like, I gotta have material for YouTube.
Those were dark times.
Yeah, it was. But,
you and a certain other someone that we were in it with were into that. And I was like, gosh, I could buy that at the Dollar Tree and not have to pay for shipping.
Exactly. But yeah, it was just a bunch of crap. But I got the book. I was like, oh, cool book. And I'm not going to read it. But I mean, I kept it. I still have it. But people say, oh, it's a great book. And then the movie came out and I saw the what I saw in the previews was like, this looks really kind of dumb. I'm not interested. And then I'm thinking like, oh, you should read the book. It's better. It's like, yeah, but they still, if it's based off of this book, this crap is probably still in it. Don't have any interest.
It's literally like reference the movie. It's just referencing pop culture things. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
I like subtle references to things, or like as a filmmaker having nods to other directors and stuff, like done tactfully.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
So what about when in E.T., Steven Spielberg, E.T., it's Halloween, and you got E.T. dressed up as a ghost.
You see the Yoda?
And he's pointing at him, and he's like, home.
That's funny. Yeah. I also find it funny with Senator Greebleeps and the other ETs in Phantom Menace.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That's funny. Well, it's even funnier because that character is in the senator of the ETs is in Cloak of Deception, which is funny. And he's just, his name is Spielberg spelled backwards, Adam. That's a good one.
It's got the earworm of the I Am Han Solo. Thankfully, I've never heard it. Rob asked me, how many copies of A New Hope do I have again? Like, are you talking about A New Hope, the novelization?
Yeah, they're definitely talking that.
Oh, too many.
I have one.
See, I have one. It's the 3-in-1 Barnes & Noble edition with Vader on the cover.
You have the original first print, first edition, don't you?
Oh yeah, I did.
Under the Fire.
Yeah. Oh, you had one too? Okay.
Yeah, I did. I had the first hardcover.
Okay. Yes.
I had all those book clubs, like 70s and 80s stuff.
Yeah. See, I've got that,
because I gave you a copy of Empire.
Yes. Yeah.
Back in the day.
We traded. Yeah, we did a trade on something.
And I gave you a copy of Alien, I think, in a hardcover. No, I never mailed that. That burned in the fire. I was going to mail it that week.
I think I sent you one of the Han Solo books, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was either Han Solo's Revenge or Han Solo and the Lost Legacy.
Yeah, I think it might have been the Revenge, but yeah, I've got that first edition of Luke Skywalker and the Adventures of whatever. I've got the hardcover as well, book club sized edition, and then several other copies. One of them's got like a white cover, and all the other ones are that basic gold. Some of them have different text colors too, like blue, and some are green. It's weird. Different
printings, different colors.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And I don't think I have just several different different prints. It's crazy. I don't know why I did that, but it's like you go into the bookstore and you see it and you're like, oh, $1. Okay.
Yep.
It's like I know someone who bought something like 1,000 copies of Star Wars #1, the Jason Aaron Marvel one that came out when they did Disney buyout.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, stop buying them. They're garbage. I remember everyone wanted me to review the third issue of that series and flush it down the toilet.
Call the authors. Luke Skywalker and the Adventures of Whatever is my favorite EU book.
Better than Shadows of Mindor, I can say that. Ha ha. Throw another jab at Matthew Stover for not being a good writer.
Gosh.
People get so mad when I say that.
What did you say? What?
That Matthew Stover isn't a good writer.
Now I'm mad now.
Yeah, I'm angry now too.
Throwing things. Yep. Bye bye.
Matthew Stover's awesome. Just kidding. I don't even know.
All American Cornbread's like everyone loves Jason Aaron stuff. I think they like when he has full control over things. Jason Aaron's series Southern Bastards is really awesome. I think it's done now. That was awesome. I understood why people like Jason Aaron stuff, but when he has like a licensed character, it's just not good. I think the only time it was acceptable was he started a new series of X-Men comics called The Amazing X-Men, and he brought Nightcrawler back from the dead, and that was interesting. That was an okay storyline. But his Punisher stuff is bad. His Star Wars stuff is unreadable. I remember when they switched authors, and I didn't even notice. Like, it became Kieran Gillen, and it's still bad. It's like, oh, it's a new storyline. It's like, no, it's not. It's the same one. Kieran Gillen's also overrated. All of the writers for Marvel are just like they're frustrating because they can write good stuff. They just don't. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's Marvel dictates what they're supposed to write, or if they just don't like care.
Rob D. People probably bought the Star Wars comic because they think it'll be worth $10,000 in 10 years from now. I'm like,
yeah. Now they probably get maybe 10 cents.
No, they get more money is if I wiped my butt with it and then like gave it to someone that would be like, this is a prop.
Yeah. Hey, I'll give you $10,000 if you take that and get out of my store.
There were so many of them.
Yeah.
I remember Darth Vader #3, the first appearance of Afra, was selling at the comic shop I used to go to for $30.
I don't even want to talk about Afra.
I just read that recently.
The Afra audio drama you're excited for that comes out next month?
No,
I read the Vader comic where, like, when the quarantine started, I read the Vader comics, and
Did you read that whole series? Through issue 24, I think, is when it ends. 24 or 25.
It starts with Vader 1, Vader 2, and Vader Down.
Yeah.
Oh, the event that tied into the main Star Wars comic.
I read all those.
I think Vader Down had some cool parts in it. I remember he was like in a canyon.
Vader Down was fan service.
He was surrounded by
rebels.
They
tried to gun him down. They're like, take the shot. Take the shot. And I'm like, Leia, stop talking like that. That's not your character.
Yeah.
Take the shot. It's like when in Skyfall, when M's like, take the shot, and like Moneypenny shoots James. I was getting that. Like, it was like a direct ripoff of that. And I'm like, oh, please.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say someone talked about Charles Soule's Vader, and I was like, I was actually intrigued to read that. So
that's more interesting.
He also I gave him
post Purge.
The 7th printing of Star Wars I sent him.
Is it the 7th printing of a 7th printing?
I don't know.
It has the power of second sight. So it shall be written. So it shall be done. It's a little Iron Maiden from their proggy metal album, 7th Son of a 7th Son. That a lot of people hate because it's very synthy.
I will say this about Rob D mentions it. I will say this. I actually like how a Sith gets their lightsaber in canon.
I don't.
I think it's cool.
The bleeding of the well, you didn't read that first became a thing in Ahsoka, and it's done. E.K. Johnston does it so terribly in that book.
Yeah, the bleed the blade thing.
Yeah, well, she blows up that lightsaber and kills that Inquisitor by blowing up a lightsaber with the Force. I don't know why Disney has an obsession with blowing up lightsabers and then repairing the kyber crystal.
Well, I mean, I think the concept is pretty cool of like doing the bleeding the blade thing, which I thought would have been awesome if they would have done that in episode 8 or 9. If like Rey did make a turn and like you could just like she's holding Anakin's blade and it just starts to just fade to red. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, they didn't do any risks like that.
I was gonna say, like, if she were to ever redeem herself and go back, I did hear somewhere that if you pour the light into a Sith crystal, it turns yellow automatically. I may be wrong.
Ahsoka takes an Inquisitor's crystals and turns them white.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Ahsoka's not a Jedi in Rebels. She's neutral. She's not a Bendu either. She's an Ahsoka. Because Ahsoka is beyond being labeled.
I hate that character. Polyautism, yes. I'm going to read the episode 2 novelization. And he's asking, what is with this Afrobolix? Yeah, they're doing an audio drama like they did with the Dooku Jedi Lost, which I thought was pretty cool.
I liked it too.
It was fun.
Now, I know there's a lot of people, for some reason, like Dr. Aphra.
Well, it's popular to like Dr. Aphra because she's a minority.
And
part of the community.
The community.
LGBTQ.
Yeah. So she's got that. And that's, I think, why people, I guess, like her, because I find her highly annoying.
I found her partner in the Aphra series more enjoyable, the Imperial officer.
They like her lover.
Yeah, like their relationship was interesting, but I never understood why she liked Aphra. Then again, Luke has a thing for Aphra in the Screaming Citadel, which also that made even less sense.
Yeah.
But we gotta not have, since we now know because the original trilogy's been out forever, that Luke and Leia are brother and sister. In the new canon, we can't have them have a romance. That'd be incest. We can't do Splinter of the Mind's Eye. I appreciate that because that's, for those of you who haven't read that, that is a Luke Leia love story.
I've heard of it.
It's awkward to read.
Yeah.
That was my first adult novelization of Star Wars I read.
They recently did something in the comics that I actually liked. Do you guys care about spoilers?
No, I don't give.
Okay. Well, I remember telling you guys that, like when Luke lost his blue lightsaber, it shows like a Force ghost catching it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they actually, I think that still happened, but they changed it somewhat. They actually, Luke goes down there to look for it, but then eventually he gives up because he just realized, well, wait a minute, why would I want my father's old lightsaber? Because now he's Darth Vader. I don't want to be like my father. Like he makes like a choice to not go back for it and be his own person. Like I actually like that. I thought that was actually a pretty good decision.
Is this to explain away the yellow lightsaber they gave him in issue 2?
I don't know.
I just assumed that was the lightsaber that he had from Heir of the Jedi, that he found at that Jedi's grave, but I wouldn't put it past Marvel to not give a crap about that book.
Who somehow that Jedi was friends with Anakin. Right?
Yeah, well, there's been weirder retconning of Anakin and his friends in the EU.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to retcon in the first Marvel annual, like in the original Marvel Star Wars series, how Vader and Anakin were two different characters. And Abel G. Pena wrote a short story called Skywalkers, and he explains that away.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm sorry. Quality Audience says, I don't like Frankenstein's monster staring at me behind it.
But another thing that I hate about the Aphra stuff is the relationship between her and Vader.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, I was...
Like, completely ruins the character of Vader for me. Like having conversations, small talk crap with this annoying Indiana Jones ripoff.
It seemed out of place to me.
Like, yeah, it was bizarre. I hated it. Well, the droids are also like goofy, dark comedy.
Too much. It's too much. It's too much. The way they try to do it is like, you're supposed to laugh at this ridiculous thing that this droid does. Speaking of blackface, look at this black droid that just wants to kill you all the time.
It's just like whenever you watch like A New Hope or Empire or something like that, it's just like you just see like, I can't see Vader going through these stories, but I mean,
but we're coming from the same company that said they fly now.
That's 3 times.
Oh, they fly now.
They fly now.
They fly now.
That's gonna be our. That's our.
I don't know why out of all the clips they could have released as like a teaser thing, they did the "they fly now." It made me want to watch the movie even less.
Man, Mashad's out.
Oh, see you, man.
Later.
But yeah, such a stupid character. I am not looking forward to that. But gonna have to listen to it anyway. Ugh.
I'm not getting paid for that until Lucasfilm decides to start paying me for these suffering through their content. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read Alphabet Squadron 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Quality autism. Speaking of blackface, how is that evil C-3PO not racist?
Yeah. By the way, my wife liked Queen's Shadow.
Did you consider Marriage?
Why booted for that? I didn't read it. I don't guilt by association.
Guilt through association there.
I'm sorry, what?
Did you consider going to marriage counseling?
He hasn't read it, so he doesn't know how bad it is.
No, but you need to exorcise those demons.
But hey, that one.
You better hire a priest. You got to get rid of that.
That one makes the next one.
Well, you mean the waste of a novel?
Say, to be fair for her, like she loves Padme, and I think she just, I think it was, I mean, like I haven't really talked to her about it too much, but she said that she thought it was like she liked how the story was, if I remember correctly. But
I mean, it explains why Lux Montero has a thing for her, kind of.
The what? What did you say?
You remember Lux Montero from the Clone Wars? It explains why he has like the hots for Padme.
Yeah. And
no, not Lux Montero, Senator Clovis. Lux Montero is the Ahsoka's like love interest that they gave up on immediately, who is killed at the end of
because Dave Filoni Dave Filoni was jealous.
Yeah, no, that was a weird storyline. The what was it? The Separatist Parliament. What? Why did that need to be in there?
Quality autism says, but does she like Queen's Peril?
Yeah, that comes out in June or July, I believe.
Queen's pregnancy. This is the third one.
The Queen's.
Why am I echoing?
I don't hear it.
Quality autism hears it, and I hear it. I'm not sure what. It's something on my end.
I don't hear it.
Well, it's gone now.
Is it? It
probably will come back.
Hope not.
For your sake, I hope not.
That joke fell flat. Sorry.
The Emperor's not as forgiving as I am.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that in Return of the Jedi. I'm like, oh no, this Emperor's a bad guy. I'm like 4.
It was funny. My 5-year-old, he hasn't watched the films yet. I mean, he saw The Force Awakens when he was 2. He thought it was cool. I was like, let's watch the original stuff. And there was a little video I filmed. Sorry, I'm moving my camera. I filmed of him watching Episode 4 when Vader comes in, because he was like obsessed with Vader for some reason. And he had like the 12-inch Darth Vader action figure. And he's like holding it, and Vader walks through onto the Tantive or whatever. Tantive, right?
Tantive 4, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember if I think, what was it, Pablo Hidalgo changed the name to it. When Vader walks through, he's like, "It's him! It's Vader! It's him!" It was really funny. I'll have to release that
That's
video.
adorable.
Yeah, I'll have to release the video. But he loved it. But he made it halfway through before he kind of got disinterested, which, I understand. Is that when he watched it, he was like 2.5 or 3 when we did episode 4. But, he's got this little audio book that you like push the buttons on it and it starts reading from Star Wars stuff. And I guess one of them gives away like Vader's your father or whatever. So he was like, he's like, is that Luke's dad? And I was like, no, where'd you hear that? Because I wanted to experience it in the film when he actually understands what it all means,
Every time, like I show my daughter this, she just lights up. She just gets so excited. I'm like, that's a good sign right there.
That's good. I've been trying to trick my kids. Like my daughter, she's almost 2 in a couple months, and like I had an M&M, and she's like wanting one. Like reaching up. I'm like, say Ghostbuster, and she's like, Gobo, and I'm like, all right, there you go.
I'd be like, who are you gonna call?
Yeah, I did that the second time, and she said it again. So I was like, all right, good job.
Quality autism. What is the pronunciation that Pablo Hidalgo calls it now? Because I always thought it was the Tantive 4.
I think they did like Tantive or Tantive, something weird. That's I was stumbling over it because I know it's been.
Why is that ship? Why is it specifically the Tantive 4 and Rise of Skywalker?
Why is it in the Rise of Skywalker? Does it?
Because they're lazy. I thought they just threw a random one in there. Because J.J. Abrams is the most lazy director I've ever seen.
Yeah, the one that was taken onto the Star Destroyer.
It would have been destroyed.
Yeah, exactly.
In Rise of the novelization, it's the Tantive 4.
They leave on the Falcon, so.
Did you guys see that on the Lego of the Star Destroyer? They have a small Tantive 4 that's connected to it.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like this big, but I'm just like, I really want to get that. It's like $800, and I'm like, nope.
What is Vader's Super Star Destroyer called?
The Devastator.
Is it the Devastator?
Or is it? Is that that?
It's an F.
The final
like the Executor, or
no? That's the class. There's Executor class Star Destroyer.
Trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it called? Because I don't know if it's called the same thing in the EU.
Like what Quality Autism says about the Queen's administration. I mean, Queen's peril.
The Devastator.
The Devastator. That's the Super Star Destroyer, not the one in A New Hope. That's a different name. A different ship.
Executor is what Rob D says.
The Oh, okay, personal. Yeah, Executor. He's right.
I have to say, before your wife reads Queen's Peril, she has to rewatch The Phantom Menace at least 2 or 3 more times so she'll understand what's happening in the book. Because it is one of those things, like if you're reading it and if you're not like us, like super Star Wars nerds that like can see the film in your head, you're not going to understand what's happening.
The thing is, that story in that format had already been done. It was Queen Amidala's journal done by Scholastic. I read it in 5th grade because I needed an EU young adult book that I could read. Like I could actually like read on that reading level. So I read that from like the school library, and I'm like, oh, what a pile of garbage. I really have never cared about a Star Wars character like this. Like, I would never want to read any of these. And then it was like advertising, read Luke's journal and Han and Leia's. I'm like, no.
Disney did with the junior novels of, junior reader novels, whatever they call them, of like Poe, Finn, and Rey.
Was that the Before the Awakening?
Yeah, Before the Awakening, and then they had other ones with like Rose.
Oh, you mean the the audiobook that Kelly Marie Tran took a couple Xanax and a couple Valium, and like they told her to stay awake.
Yeah,
she just sounds like she wants to sleep so bad.
Yeah, I think we listened to the audiobook around the same time.
I couldn't read it. It was so bad. I had to buy the audiobook, and it was even worse.
Yeah. It was horrible.
Well, because like I knew Ahsoka had been done by Ashley Eckstein because she's Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
So like Ashley Eckstein can read because she's a voice actor. Kelly Marie Tran,
not so much.
Cannot read a book. Not read a book out loud.
You had to like hit the twice as fast button so you can get through the book in a timely manner.
Oh no! It took me a week of listening to it.
Yeah, Quality Autism. It was destroyed in Disney canon, but remember they have a much better continuity than the EU. Yeah, sure.
I like that at some point Poe Dameron was a spice runner. I'm not sure when that happened. He's the only character they really established a backstory to.
Like, as in born into the New Republic or Resistance?
Yeah. Yeah, when did he start? And he was Wedge's star pupil. When did he start running spice?
Well, they're confused because of this Afra thing apparently is a what do they call it? A retelling of the first couple times that we meet her, like her origin story.
Then why are you listening to it? You've already read that story.
It's a retelling. I don't know, because I just try to keep up with all this crap because I really shouldn't, though, because I got too many other important, fun things that I want to read.
Yeah, like Ghostbusters too, the novelization.
Exactly.
And Ghostbusters 2016, the movie watch along.
Yeah. No.
I got it.
No. I got it. We already agreed to it. We got to do it.
Now I'm going to edit that part of the stream out.
Gosh.
And just have it on a loop for an hour.
No.
And Jerry's like, that's my new ringtone.
Blackmail.
It's happening, people. You heard it here first.
No way.
We're watching the next watch along. Ghostbusters 2016. Well, yeah, we're gonna listen to that. That's different. That's not off the table, Matthew.
So,
what's on the table, though? It's
the
feast of my amusement.
Yeah, right. But what we got to do with this is, like, for people on here, like Rob, Quality, that I don't know if you have a Facebook or not, because I'm on there, and I don't think you are. We want people to be involved in this little book club thing that you aren't even on there. So that's why we're going to be doing videos on these books and have discussions. So we will hope that you guys can find these books too and read them through the month of May. Well, this book through the month of May. So you join in on the conversations that we have, because I think that would be a lot of fun.
Quality Autism has a prayer for you. He says, may Waru be with us all if you actually watched Ghostbusters 2016. The other one I wanted to bring up is Quality Autism brings up the biggest continuity error in Rise of Skywalker, which is Leia's Jedi training. Which in New Republic Bloodlines, they specifically say never happened.
Yeah, because she was wanting to focus on
politics.
And
being a mom, which she failed at. She failed at both. She failed at both hardcore.
I actually asked my wife about that because she read Bloodline, and I think she said that she just kind of dabbed at Jedi training, but I'm just like, you did a little bit more than that if you took down Luke Skywalker, for crying out loud.
Well, if you read the
CGI cutscene,
you read the book. There's this the novelization for Rise of Skywalker.
There's a lot of training in that in the first chapter.
Yeah.
And which one of the funniest things I've ever heard is she hears the voice of Obi-Wan and Yoda. And I'm like, that's stupid. You wouldn't even know what they sound like. They go, "Hi, I'm Yoda. Yoda I am." And then Obi-Wan's like, "I'm Obi-Wan." It's the guy from Clone Wars. It's not even like Ewan McGregor or Alec Guinness. So no, literally in the Legends timeline, it's implied that possibly she saw Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Anakin at the birth of the twins in Last Command. And then in Truce of Bakura, Anakin comes to her to apologize for what he did and ask for forgiveness. And that sets her on a really cool storyline that goes throughout Bantam and Dark Horse, for that matter, of her accepting that Vader's her father, which is actually gets dealt with in the Dark Empire trilogy. That's concluded in that, which is why you should read it, Matthew.
Right.
I was wanting to show this, like the Godzilla King of the Monsters novelization. Like, I remember when I was a kid, they actually had a novel of the original Godzilla King of the Monsters, and it looked like this. In my opinion, it's a better cover.
Uh-huh.
But I looked at it on Amazon. It's worth like $40, but it's only 100 pages. But it's only 100. It's like 100 pages long. I'm like, ooh, not worth it. Not worth it. Yeah, it's a kid's book.
Quality autism. Oh, I Yoda, am I?
Yeah, Quality also said he's got a Facebook account under his real name. Already looked it up. Well, I hope you joined. But then I might know who you are. Don't worry, anonymous you shall remain on here. Rob D, I made a Facebook account back in 2011 when people my age had them, but then they all moved to Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Well, what is your age group? I remember Facebook started the year, I think it might have been my first year in college, is when you had to, your college had to be registered to get in.
I was on MySpace.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, what year did you start college?
2000. It was like the fall of 2004.
Oh, then no, I wouldn't have been on MySpace yet. I joined MySpace at the end of MySpace in like 08, 09.
Okay.
Which MySpace was awesome because you could take like the HTML and make your own thing, and then you switch to Facebook, and it was boring and stupid. And it's gotten even more boring with its layouts. Yep. It's like every website, every social media site has gotten like made for stupid people. Because like YouTube channels were like the coolest thing. Everyone's channel looked different. Now we're all on one channel.
Yeah.
And it's ugly.
I was gonna say, quality autism. Don't worry. Even if he discovers your name, he can't use it because now you have evidence that he said that he'll watch 2016 Ghostbusters,
which is gonna happen. We're gonna have a special episode of Paper Cinema or whatever we're calling it.
Paper movies.
Paper movies, where we watched Ghostbusters 2016.
No. You used to pay me.
Would it be weirder if I said it came from the front? That's not funny.
Oh yeah, the queef jokes that are in the book. It's such a nasty word.
In all honesty, a queef, it's not the be all end all of things.
Just a dumb book.
It is a dumb book. Was there minstrel talk in that book?
I was gonna say that was the best review I've ever seen of it.
Thank you, thank you.
I bet you're never allowed to do anything for Sony Pictures.
They saw that. Oh man.
They make sure any movie novelization Titan has that they're gonna send you if it's from one of their films, they redact it immediately.
Yeah. Well, it's like the cover to this one. I was looking at it last night, and I like looked at my wife, and I was like, "Can you take a look at this cover and tell me what's good about it?" She's like, "It's pretty ugly." I was like, "Exactly. I mean, that is a hideous cover."
No, Titan Books gets lazy with their covers. I've shown you some of their alien covers, right? Where they Photoshop aliens in.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, I really want to review the Alien books on our new show.
Say that again. Oh yeah, an Alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some of those novels.
And definitely retread the Rambo books.
It's like a photo that they put half of a filter on, like his boot.
No, that's a press photo. I've seen that photo before. They just cut them out and put them on the background.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like there's like a filter on it, and his boot over here is like really cartoony, as to where the rest of him is like realistic.
They tried to color correct it as well.
Yeah, they did. And it's so bad, and it's like really washed out.
Mm-hmm.
And the cover, like the background, it's like a tan, not like a real, like an off-white color with, I don't know, some sort of weird paper texture over it.
You know, it could be worse. It could be they took a toy and then they photoshopped it into the background.
Yeah, that would, it might have been cooler.
I agree with Quality Autism. They need to have a GeeksAttic quote on the back of the. Oh no! Wait, I thought that was for the original novelization. Never mind. I was like, "Whoops."
It's like if this book had a butt, my foot would be in it.
That's like when they finally do the last New Republic Marvel Epic collection, and it has Union in it, and they take a quote from my review where it says, "Finally, I review this piece of crap." Or I think I called it a piece of trash or something.
Yeah, well,
that'd be kind of interesting. I was seeing your foot mark on the bottom of it. It said GeeksAttic.
I just want on the Inferno Squad. I want them to do a new printing where I'm written underneath calling you a liar.
Yeah.
Your positive review.
Well,
We know if Jeremy reviewed a book that he didn't like, as if it smells like crap, you're like, oh, Jeremy reviewed it.
I almost did a video with because I've just filmed my Stealth and Siege reviews. I was going to wrap Stealth in saran wrap and make an upper decker joke and pull it out of the back of the toilet. But then I saw that AVGN did an upper decker joke and it wasn't funny, so I wasn't going to do one either. Because upper decking someone is not a funny thing to do. That's a very mean thing. Any of you upper deck me, you'll be the last thing you do. Let's just say someone's going to end up being tied to this monstrosity of exercise equipment.
Yeah.
For all eternity. Just
goodness.
That's what I should have done. I should have found a mannequin or something that looked like a mannequin and like tied it to that for like Evil Dead.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome.
I
turned my lights off. It was bright in here still.
I have a glass head. I have it. My aunt gave it to me for a birthday one year.
Oh, like what you put a wig on to like shape?
Yeah. It's in my office.
Oh, that's cool.
Have you seen Rob D's comment down there? That's actually well played.
That should have been followed by the poop emoji.
I was about to say, like, GeeksAttic gives it one finger up.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here's a good one too.
Or rather get a litter box filled. Is that something I actually said? Queen's Shadow review? I wouldn't put it past me.
If you did, I blame Queen's Peril on you.
I would tell them you're.
That would be great.
Jeremy's onto something with that. Let's run with it.
Should we just put on my Queen's Shadow review and see?
Oh,
then we get the explicit tag because that's when I started swearing.
I was about to say your review for Arkham Knight, but I'm like, we're gonna get an explicit tag just from like the first sentence.
Oh god! Oh my tirade on how that's that's barely a video game.
I was just like, I just mentioned the names Arkham Knight, and then you just went like Godzilla on that.
It was a paragraph of a rant. I wrote it out. It was very nice.
I'm just like, okay, never mention this to Jeremy again.
It's the worst. It wasn't even a finished game, which is the worst part about it.
I should send you that for Christmas. Be like, I was thinking of you.
Yeah, I pre-ordered that game and sat in line at GameStop to get it, and had to deal with the scumbags that play Xbox One that are just the worst people at pre-order. They are. I don't know why you play Xbox One, GeeksAttic. They are the worst. Like when it comes to pre-order people, just like I don't know. Like I guess the good Xbox One players don't go to pre-order like events. Like they just are just this loud mind. This is also back in the day when like first Battlefront came out, and like twice the amount of sales were on PS4 than they were on Xbox. So that might have been it. Like that was still the thing because people were still mad about the Xbox when it came out because it wasn't marketed as a game console.
It was well, I'll say, Quality Autism says yes. You did say that right after you called me an a-hole for sending you the book. So, but the whole Xbox thing, like, why do I have it? Like, it was a Black Friday thing. I had permission to get a new system because the PlayStation 3 that I had got tore up because, when the kid was like 2.5, he was tall enough to reach up and plug stuff into the disk drive.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So that went to trash. So I was like, okay, I want to get the new PlayStation, 4? Is that they're calling it? And I was like, I want to get that. Sold out on Amazon. I was like, okay, we'll go to Walmart.com or Target. Everybody was gone. It was like, one of those great Black Friday deals where it's like a $199 bundle type thing. Sold out everywhere. And then they're like, Xbox One S, $199 with, I can't remember what was with it, but I was like, I'm going to go ahead and get that because it's got Blu-ray too. And I, was like, I like to buy Blu-rays at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I still like to buy Blu-rays, but
yeah.
I
get them. I get very rarely do I pick up movies now, but yeah, that's why I got it. And I'm such a casual game player. I mean,
I know. I'm the same way with consoles. I don't use them. I have a Switch. I've thought about selling it so many times.
Yeah.
That's me if you want to buy my Switch.
I was gonna say when I saved up to buy a PS4, do you want to see I was gonna buy a brand new one, but then I saw a used one at GameStop. You want to see what it is?
Is it the Darth Vader one? Dumb.
I like it.
It's not as bad as the R2D2 Xbox 360 with the C3PO Connect that
me and my roommate
paid so much money for that killed their company.
My roommates had that in college.
Oh gosh, we're gonna have to do a whole Waru discussion sometime.
Because he's the best character the Bantam ever came up with.
Oh my gosh.
What a simple idea. You just take the Spam and you put cornflakes on it.
I'm gonna make a tutorial on how to make your own Waru pet.
I just still don't get how Luke was swimming around in Waru.
It's so like I don't know. I don't have words for it.
It's better though than Planet of Twilight.
It's like, I don't know, borders on like Waru's somewhat like a pedophile mixed with a, I don't know. It's disturbing. That's all I know. Waru is just
the whole thing was weird.
It's disgusting. You just don't understand the genius of Waru as a character.
That's like some Disney talk right there. Like, you don't understand our character. You don't understand the character of Admiral Holdo, also known as Admiral A-Hole. I didn't know she had a name. I just called her Admiral A-Hole.
Purple hair.
She's the worst character in any Star Wars movie. And that's saying something. Because we have the Clone Wars movie that has Ahsoka, which I'm going to get all sorts of hate for that one. And then we have Jar Jar Binks. But Admiral Holdo is the worst Star Wars character.
What really sucks is it's like Leia, one of the best female characters ever.
Yeah.
In anything. And then the rest of their female cast mostly just sucks.
I don't know. Padme's fine.
That's I don't know.
Not Phantom in this, but in the other two movies, she's fine.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
But,
like in the Clone Wars, In Clone Wars, boring. Like, oh, she's a politician that runs around with her blaster and shoots things. It's like that's not. I don't get it.
It's aggressive negotiations.
It sounds illegal. Meddling in affairs of things, but I don't know. I think it's sad that it's like, when you have authors like Claudia Gray who can write a good female character, like give her Padme or whatever. But no, they don't. They want to give her to a crappy author that can't really put it out there the way it's supposed to be.
Oh, I guess my roommates are home.
With great power comes great responsibility. Waru 2003.
Good quote right there. But yeah, it's a Waru body pillow.
You know what's sad? I didn't think of Sam Raimi Spider-Man. I thought of Amazing Spider-Man and oh god, who was Uncle Ben in that?
Oh,
Martin Sheen. And then I thought of Martin Sheen and his windbreaker in The Departed and the microprocessors. the what? The microprocessors. Hey guys, can you talk in more of a Boston accent? I know you're from here, but can you talk in? I can't do the Martin Scorsese voice. It's starting to come out like Jimmy Stewart. Guys, can you do more of a Boston accent?
You hate that film, don't you?
What, The Departed?
Yeah,
it's a hot pile of steaming goat vomit. Like, it's just an awful movie.
Speaking of hot takes, All American Cornbread. Actually, Mara Jade is the worst Star Wars character ever.
In the Thrawn trilogy, yes. In everything else, no.
So yeah, it seems like she's pretty popular, which I don't really know much about her.
Terrible character in Heir of the Empire, and then in Dark Force Rising: The Last Command, she's fine. And then like Hand of Thrawn, she's pretty awesome, and I like her like post that.
Hurtado in the house.
There we go. Hello. But no, Admiral Holdo is the worst Star Wars character from a movie. I won't say worst Star Wars character ever. That might go to Ahsoka's partners that are like the criminal sisters in this season of the Clone Wars.
Haven't made it there yet. Clearly, because episode 1. So.
That's like on they introduced them in the 5th episode. Oh, you're still with the clones.
Oh, see, American Cornbread said he's just trying to get a reaction. He named his cat after Mara Jade. Okay.
Mara Jade. I'll never forget when she got the front cover of Star Wars Insider. It was Shannon McRandall.
Didn't she die?
No, she's still alive, I'm pretty sure.
Cancer or something?
She had cancer. She may still have cancer. But I'm pretty sure I follow her on Instagram.
Okay.
I saw a YouTube video once that said that Mara Jade was possibly going to be in Rise of Skywalker, and then I was just like, oh, wait, it's that clickbait guy.
Yeah. Yeah. She has cancer. Okay. I'm thinking AC Crispin.
Yeah, Crispin's been dead for a while.
And the author,
wow, I didn't realize Shannon McRandall's 50.
And Crystal Star also died too. The Crystal Crisis on Utapau arc, and Nyx died for those worthless Martinez sisters. I don't understand. I don't know if I want to. Star Wars is just crazy. We're going to get hit hard at the end of this year, or the middle of the year, with a bunch of new content.
Yeah, in third quarter, we'll get
hit. Got Alphabet Squadron. We've got this Dr. Aphra garbage. There's going to be the Thrawn Ascendancy book 1.
We'll get various comic stuff, and then we'll get hit with High Republic at the end.
Yep.
Which I'm not looking forward to. Their dumpster fire of an Old Republic. People are going to hate it on the sheer principle of it, because we're going to have. Thankfully, Matthew, we're not part of a group where we have to monitor like people fighting in there anymore. So it won't be so bad for us. We'll just have to deal with it on YouTube when the YouTube feed fills up with people who are like, oh, blah, 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 this rips off this. Certain YouTubers I love, like, I like them as people. Like, they're really cool, but they do that kind of videos, and you know who you are. Cough, cough, Ryan from RK Outpost, where you just post 1,000 videos on how terrible something is. I mean, I'll bash something here or there, but I don't go out of my way. But like I said, I love his videos and I love the guy. It's just like I don't want to deal with that with High Republic.
Yeah,
not a movie.
That wave is gonna hit though.
It will. People are gonna be ass mad about it.
And it's like before I say that, I'll just read what these guys had to say real quick. Quality autism. If you can do good things for people, you have a moral obligation to do those things. That's what's at stake here, not choice, responsibility. Martin Sheen's terrible dialogue and not Amazing Spider-Man.
I forgot that was in there.
This is probably an unpopular opinion, but I actually enjoyed that first video game they made of it. Because
I forgot they made video games.
I thought it was a better story than the.
I've heard it's got acceptable gameplay, but it's not the best Spider-Man game.
It's not the best, but I enjoyed it. But I've noticed a lot of Spider-Man games recently have been more like a virus or infection or symbiotes invading New York, and he has to save every single citizen. I'm just like,
yeah, I was never a fan of that.
Okay, Rob D just informed me of something that I did not know was coming. We've got a Poe Dameron novel, Free Fall.
Is this to attempt to explain the continuity error? That might be why. That might be who's writing it.
Alex Segura.
Oh, I don't know. If we were James Luceno, or Jason Fry, that was the sole purpose, is to fix the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I see it.
I'm gonna guess it's a female author. And it's gonna be a YA novel about the relationship during that time of when he was a spice runner.
Oh, with Zori Bliss.
Yeah.
So it's basically going to be Most Wanted 2.
Yep.
Exactly what I don't want from a Poe Dameron book.
That's what it's going to be. Let me look up this author.
Hurtado. I actually have a podcast, and I've had GeeksAttic and Stupid Chainsaw Production on at least once.
The Stupid Chainsaw Production is the episode you need to watch.
Oh, Alex Segura is a dude, so
probably. Oh, damn. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I say the author's a dude, so it's probably.
Is it a Del Rey book or is it a Disney Lucasfilm Press?
I have a feeling it's going to be a Disney Lucasfilm Press because I think Del Rey would have mentioned it because
let us know ahead of time.
Disney Lucasfilm Press is a bad job of advertising what they're doing.
They also have a bad job sometimes of getting their books out to be reviewed.
Yes, they do. It's like sometimes they'd send me nothing. They'd send me one copy, or they'd send me like 4 copies of a book, and it's like, what are you doing?
One time they sent me 2 books, and they said we don't do this anymore, and then sent Matthew books and not me. And I'm like, oh, it's because Matthew has more subscribers. Why couldn't you just say that?
Quality Autism says Poe Dameron, Skyfall.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay, I was just catching up, seeing what was going on over there.
Is Rose Tico the second worst Star Wars character, or do we give that to Jar Jar Binks?
I'll take Jar Jar over Rose because I've watched Phantom Menace so many times, and I'm like, I'm still watching it.
Over the 4 of these characters, because Ahsoka can be useful. Rose is so useless that she's cut out of the last film.
Yeah.
So that Mary from Lord of the Rings can put dialogue in that's also useless.
Yeah. Yeah, they really shot themselves in the foot with this last movie. It sucks. It's really sad. I think they knew it. They knew it too. After
it was clear that Bob Iger retired immediately.
Yeah.
Isn't he back though?
Is he?
I thought I heard something that he's back.
If he's there, he should fire Kathleen Kennedy immediately.
Yeah.
Being literally the worst person to run Lucasfilm that they could possibly get.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you had people doing Marvel stuff pretty darn good, like on track to get to an endpoint, an end game. Why didn't you do it with the most popular franchise of all time?
Oh.
So stupid. Hurtado says, I really doubt anyone cared or cares about any sequel trilogy characters, to be honest. Sad but true. It is true.
Well, they're going to say they care about it to keep face.
Yeah.
I'm sure kids like Ray.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know how anybody relates.
That's the only one that's approachable for children.
I don't know how anybody would relate to Finn or Poe. I don't know how anybody would relate to them.
I don't know. I honestly, in Rise of Skywalker, Finn's the only character I like. He's the only one who seems to have had an arc.
Yeah.
Once you Rise of Skywalker, because they realize, well, he has a reverse arc. He has two arcs because Rian Johnson's terrible and caused him to revert his character back in Last Jedi.
I was about to say,
it's become a sequel trilogy discussion right now.
I was gonna say he's had the most character change or development I've seen. Like he had
to do it twice because Rian Johnson didn't like what J.J. Abrams did, so he did the same thing.
Yeah.
Only not as cool.
It's true. I know. I could stand behind that. Quality just changed my mind about Waru. If you get Bruce Campbell to voice Waru in a live-action movie, I'll watch it.
Dude, that would be great. But you know what they need to do? The cornflakes will move around to make Bruce Campbell's face, like with CG.
Yes. And it's like got to have some of those quotes from like Army of Darkness. Like, Hail to the King, baby.
As he swallows Luke.
Yeah. What is it? It's like you were pretty once, but you're ugly. What was it? But baby, you're ugly. Something like that. I can't remember it exactly. Will they ever make something about the sequel characters post Episode 9?
Not in this decade.
No.
Maybe if they throw enough money at them in 2035.
I don't even know about that because didn't Finn say like the guy John Boyega said you're not gonna Disney Plus me? Like he
didn't want to be a part of a series.
No,
which I don't blame him.
No, I don't either.
The only one who wants that is Diego Luna, who's freaking the forgettable Cassian Andor.
I mean, who got it worse, the prequel actors or the sequel? Because
I won't answer that for at least 10 more years because the thing with the prequel actors is a lot of them couldn't get work after Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't Hayden Christensen like become a farmer or something?
Oh yeah, well he did 2 films that are actually pretty decent, where he's like a good actor. But yeah, he was done. I mean, he worked with one of the worst directors ever.
Yeah.
Like, look at the behind the scenes of Revenge of the Sith. He looks miserable because he needs direction, and George Lucas just can't do it.
Yeah.
Which is
it's rough.
It's lucky he made Star Wars work.
Yeah, I know. But he had a heart attack in the process, or near heart attack.
Yeah, and someone else edited his movie for him.
Yeah. It's insane. I mean, the reason I asked that question is because it's like social media now. It's like everybody's either like, "Oh, I liked it," or "Man, you guys should kill yourself." So
I don't know. We'll see. They've done Oscar Isaac will continue doing his weird indie things, and Adam Driver will still do things because they've been doing stuff prior to this. John Boyega seems to have done some stuff. It's Daisy Ridley I'm probably worried about the most.
Yeah, it's like I could see her getting some sort of a couple other little Disney films or something.
She was in when they remade Murder on the Orient Express. And she was in that.
Did she have a big role?
Adaptation
yeah, she was one of the main characters.
Okay, good.
She's better in that than Star Wars. But honestly, with the sequel trilogy, the acting isn't the issue. Unlike with the prequels, where the acting is kind of appalling, the acting is fine. It's just everything else is bad.
Yeah. I like this. All American Corporate says, change the subject from the sequels. I feel tumors growing on my head.
Yeah, how do you think I feel trying to organize the Clone Wars on my bookshelf?
Like,
literally like ripping my hair out. That's why I don't have a beard anymore. I just have the mustache. I was just ripping them out.
Quality Autism, a quote from Waru. Swallow this. Bruce Campbell voice. I highly doubt that we'll see Daisy Ridley ever again on screen in any big speaking roles.
I doubt that, but I mean,
it's up to her. That would be her choice.
Yeah, all depends really too on their agent stuff too.
Well, also you have to. Carrie Fisher didn't have much of an acting career after Star Wars. I think the only thing I can think of that she was in was when Harry Met Sally.
She was in The Burbs.
Oh yeah, I forgot The Burbs. Yeah. Is a movie.
Classic movie. I love that movie.
She was in
that movie about the little people in Wizard of Oz with Chevy Chase, which is a weird, really mean-spirited comedy because they make all the little people seem like monsters.
She was in the Blues Brothers.
That's right. Yeah.
Was that after?
Yes, I think so. Or I think it was during, because I think it was like what?
It had to have been during.
Carrie Fisher's a weird case because she got addicted to electroshock therapy at one point, like in the 80s.
Blues Brothers. I'm going to look up Blues Brothers.
All I'm thinking of now is that scene from the Family Guy Star Wars where Peter goes, "Hi, I'm Han Solo, captain of the Millennium Falcon, and the only actor whose career isn't destroyed by this film."
Blues Brothers was 1980.
Yeah, so it was during.
That was within the trilogy. Well, she's also in Fanboys, if you all remember that terrible movie.
I never saw it.
It's literally a movie about fans trying to sneak into to Skywalker Ranch to watch an early screening of The Phantom Menace. Yeah, that came out in 2008. Way too late.
I think I might have seen that.
I didn't know she was in Austin Powers.
Yeah, she's a therapist. I actually just rewatched Austin Powers the other day. I was on on a workout bike. I was like, I need to watch something. I'll watch Austin Powers, and because I saw that when I was younger, like junior high. No idea how pervy that movie was until I just rewatched it. I was like, wow.
Now watch some of the 60s James Bond movies. You're going to just be laughing hysterically.
Yeah.
It's kind of the first one's pretty spot on. The other two are not so much. I saw those in elementary school. I saw them way too young.
The Austin Powers or James Bond movies?
Well, both.
Yeah. Seeing the Austin Powers again, I was like, wow.
I saw like the first one of those when I was like 6.
It's crazy. And I remember
my mom was very angry.
I was Austin Powers for Halloween one year.
I saw the first Austin Powers movies before I saw The Phantom Menace because my sister, my mom had just had my sister was in the hospital and I couldn't sleep and my dad couldn't sleep. So we stayed up late and watched the first one of those. And I said, "Oh, Mom, I saw blah, blah, blah." And Mom was like, "What?" I was very angry at my father.
Matthew, I kind of want to see a picture of that Austin Powers Halloween costume.
I'm sure I know where one is, I think.
All right, what's one? I want to change the subject away from the Star Wars nonsense. Yeah. What's one movie you saw like too young that like freaked you out?
Well, Let me answer that after I say Rob D. I agree 100%. Blues Brothers needs a 40th anniversary 4K.
Yes, it does. And then Blues Brothers 2000 needs to be burned at the stake.
I remember seeing that one in theaters and then never again.
I mean, like, it didn't. One of them was dead.
Yeah.
And they just replaced him with John Goodman.
John Goodman, yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess if you have to do that, but you didn't.
No quality autism. I had the blue suit that he was wearing. Hurtado, the Halloween was his movie that really freaked him out. He saw too young. Adam, if you have yours, go ahead.
I'm still thinking about it. Someone else go.
One I saw that just really freaked me out.
I have two. One for sure I saw, but another one I'm pretty sure I saw at a young age, but I don't remember actually watching it, and I'll explain. First one was, I saw the Bruce Willis movie, The Jackal, like too young, and in it, a young Jack Black gets his arm blown off with a sniper rifle.
I've seen that clip.
And I saw that, like, I was like 3 or 4, and I like freaked out. I didn't know people's arms could be removed like that, and that much blood would come out. It's the only time I ever seen like a dismemberment of someone's limb was Empire Strikes Back or Star Wars. It didn't, blood didn't
Screaming out.
But the other one I think I saw was Scanners. Have you any of you seen Scanners? Okay, you've probably seen a GIF of someone's head exploding, and it's like disgusting and like red and stuff. It's like at a news station.
News station, yeah, I've seen that.
Blows up. That's Scanners. I'm pretty sure I saw that as a kid because I used to have nightmares that happened to my mother, and like her head would blow up, and I had this like night terror for like months.
Scarring.
Yeah, and that's like one of my earlier memories because my sister wasn't even born yet, so I had to be like 2 or 3. But they don't remember. Neither of my parents remember watching that, so I don't know where that came from.
Mine is going to be kind of weird, but I remember I was 10 years old and I walked in, like my dad and my oldest brother were watching Sleepy Hollow. Mm-hmm. There was that scene where the Headless Horseman decapitates, or one of the scenes where he decapitates someone. And that freaked me out because I had not been introduced to the concept of decapitation ever. And I just was like, and I had nightmares about the Headless Horseman for a while.
Gosh, that is terrifying. All American Cornbread says Eraserhead when they saw too young.
That whole movie's a nightmare.
Quality autism. What was the Eddie Murphy movie with the mausoleum and the zombies? That freaked him out as a kid. I don't know.
I've never heard of that.
I'm sure it was Eddie Murphy.
Was it Haunted Mansion?
I was about to say, I mean, that's the only thing that spooky wise.
I mean, that movie's a nightmare because why would you make a theme park attraction into a ride? It only worked with
Pirates
of the Caribbean. Literally every time they've done it since, it doesn't work. The Haunted Mansion, The Country Bears, that's a horror movie.
Now they're doing the one with the boat, Jungle Cruise.
Oh, that is a ride, isn't it?
Yeah, The Rock is in it.
Of course he is. The Rock is a good actor, but he's in so much garbage.
Quality autism was yes, it was the Haunted Mansion.
Oh.
I never saw it.
Oh my gosh.
The tunnel scene from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
When the chicken actually, it's stock footage of a chicken getting beheaded. That's gnarly too.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 years old.
I think one scene was the scene with Pee Wee Herman and Large Marge for the first movie.
That was freaky. Yes. Marge. The eyes just like.
I heard that's actually based off a country song.
Really?
That scene, yeah, it's based off a country song. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, dude. I need to watch that movie again. I loved Pee Wee Herman. The movie. What is it? Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. Oh, that was a funny movie.
Cornbread.
Huh? Yeah, I. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh. Quality autism.
No.
Scientific purposes, he has to look it up. Oh gosh.
Oh, you know what other scene freaked me out? It's from Star Wars. When the Wampa has Luke hung up on the ceiling. The original, the not the despecialized version, because you never saw it, and that freaked me out because and then I watched the special edition because I didn't realize that the special edition, because it came out when I was like 3. So I watched both the unspecialized and the specialized around the same time. So I kind of mixed them together for years. And then I didn't realize until I watched the despecialized versions that came out on DVD in 2007 that they wasn't at that awful flat angle and you saw the full Wampa suit. It doesn't work.
Didn't you see like the bone like joint when the arm gets cut off?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The song, Matthew, is called Phantom 309.
Phantom 309.
Yeah, I heard that. I think that's supposed to be like an inspiration for the scene. I don't know, but.
See, one of the things that really freaked me out was, well, one, it's one of my favorite movies still of all time. The foot scene in Dragon Slayer.
Oh, yeah.
That disturbed me when I was a kid. But the thing that's haunted me still when I was a kid up till now is from Pet Sematary. The woman in the room with her spine like sticking out of her robe. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That she's like, "You didn't help me," and she like runs at the camera. And you're like, "Oh my god!" That freaks me out.
Me and my wife make fun of that film all the time, mostly because, well, it's just that one guy, the older guy. He always talks like and then he's just like, "This is my doing. Now I must undo it." Like 2 seconds later.
He's literally the only good actor in that movie.
Yeah, that was Herman Munster, wasn't it?
Yeah. Literally, the wife was from Star Trek Next Generation. She wasn't getting a big enough role in the show, and she threw a tantrum, and they killed her off. And then she went on to do all these terrible horror movies in the late 80s. The most successful one being Pet Sematary, which that movie is awful.
I like it just because I guess it's that nostalgia thing. But
I like the Ramones music in it. Brain Damage. It was Brain Drain is what the album was called.
I just have like that image of that lady just like all crippled on the bed, like just looks at you and she's like whispering or something. It's just gross. Freaks me out.
When I was a teenager, there was one film that freaked me out. Jeremy, you may have heard about it. Have you guys heard of the film Sleepaway Camp?
Yeah, dude. I'm a champion of that film. That used to be on YouTube.
I was about to say that ending freaked me out when I first saw it.
Oh, yeah. Angela's the killer, and she's a boy. Which I'll let you figure that one out. That movie is actually pretty progressive for its time, and it's actually considered a classic now because it's so... It's a movie that isn't like misogynistic in the way like it sexualizes the women. The director was into dudes, and it sexualizes all the dudes are wearing practically like Speedos and stuff. It's so weird. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
but yeah, that was when I first saw that. Like, there's like this. It's famous because it has like a very intense ending, Matthew, and it's like cheap. It's like really horrible graphics, but it catches you off guard. And when I first saw it, like I think I was like, I don't know, maybe 16, and I was just like in bed. Like,
I was about the same age I saw it.
I was just like,
I was laughing because that movie is so funny up until that point because it's so incompetent. It's all over the place. I appreciate it though because now, as someone who watched a lot of the 80s slasher movies, especially from that early era where that one's from the early 80s, it's at least different. Like in a lot of the ways it's made. It's stupid, but it's different. It doesn't get on a level because there were so many of them, like Silent Night, Deadly Night, and things like that are just they were just kind of gimmicky. Where Sleepaway Camp is just weird in general. The sequels are garbage, though. Don't watch them.
Oh, I haven't. I just seen
the only one is Sleepaway Camp 2. I recommend watching the outhouse death where the killer shoves someone and drowns them in an outhouse.
Yeah.
Because it's so disgusting and bizarre, and it's just like, you talk a lot of shit, don't you? And just shoves it.
I got okay. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you go for it.
Well, I was gonna say there's a line from that film that I love, Sleepaway Camp, and Jeremy probably remembers it, but there's this character. He's the brother or the cousin of the main character, the main girl character, and they're all at a camp and they're playing baseball, and he's like talking smack to the person at the that's about the bat at the plate and everything, and then this one guy just yells at him and just says, "Eat and die," and then he yells back, going, "Eat and live." It cracks me up every time.
What's another good Sleepaway Camp line? Oh, the freaking pervert cooks. Like where I come from, we call them ballsies. I'm like, what?
Oh,
I didn't understand what that meant. It's like
okay, moving on.
That's what Quality Autism said. That looked like you guys were doing a winning thing with your fist after Jeremy was talking about half-naked men.
Rob D, I saw that C-section scene in Prometheus in 3D with my mother and my grandmother because they wanted to come with me to watch it.
And she's like, "That's how babies are made, Jeremy."
And my mom was having a panic attack because she had 2 C-sections.
My wife
was like legit freaking out. It was just like an awkward situation. But that whole movie is awkward.
Yeah.
She has a C-section. The squid baby comes out.
And then she's running around like crazy, wasn't she?
Yeah, and it's like how many times would those staples have ripped out of her abdomen? That's more like distressing to me than the C-section itself.
Staples.
I'll tell you one freaky scene. And it catches you off guard, but it's from 28 Days Later. Have you seen that yet? Huh?
There's a few freaky scenes in that movie. Go on.
Well, that one scene where the main character, he's in that church and he's just like looking over the hordes of people just laying down, and then he just says, "Hello," and then like you see all the zombies just.
Oh God, yeah.
That freaked me out. Like
they just don't even know what's going on. Which literally Walking Dead ripped off in the comics.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, that's how it opened. It's the same with the show. But the comics did it first, where Rick wakes up in the hospital and no one's there.
Oh, what'd you say, Matthew?
Oh, no, I was saying there's probably a lot of stuff ripped off from people with zombie stuff. But
well, Walking Dead was supposed to be a homage to
all of it.
To all of it. Like, that's what Robert Kirkman went for initially, and then you run out of that after a while, so you have to invent new things.
Yeah.
But yeah, Quality Autism, the birth scene in Extra, I didn't see Extra until I was an adult. It's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. It makes me never want to have children because I know I'll have to be there and witness.
Well, you don't have to witness it.
Yes, I do. I'm too curious. I've witnessed enough birthing tapes through the various health classes I had to take in school. I even saw what it's like to have one on a couch and just put newspaper down, like when you put a litter box down on the ground. I'm like, dude, you need to put that much newspaper down? Why couldn't you just do this in the hospital?
It's not that bad.
What, to have a birth on a couch? Yeah, I have to get rid of
to witness a baby being born.
I don't know.
Another disturbing thing. It was more like chilling. It never really haunted me, but I remember getting like kind of freaked out when I watched it. The original "When a Stranger Calls," know they did a remake not too long ago.
Oh, the original's actually really good. The remake's garbage.
I just remember one thing from the original. It was like when the babysitter gets the phone call, and it's like that creepy voice was like, "Have you checked the children?" I just remember being freaked out by that. I was like, "Oh wait, crap, what?"
That's the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, that's just the thing. Man, I might have turned it off after that, but I was just like, "That's creepy."
That's like the best part of that movie.
Yeah.
The remake's just bad. They end up having like an underwater fight at one point, like she and the killer. It's so over the top. Like she's like at a rich like mansion, and they have like an indoor like very like garden with a pond and stuff, and she's like hiding under the water, and he's like trying to like grab her, and they're like fighting, and she's like
Trying to make it an action movie
because of how long it took.
See, the best movie that came out with cell phone stuff that kind of relates would be Scream, in my opinion. They came out at the right time before cell phones became real big.
You know what? I watched very young, and it wasn't a movie; it was a video game. It was like Resident Evil 3, I think, or 2. Like, and those early PS1 games were freaky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Did you play the remake of Resident Evil 2?
No.
Okay, so you know how for like the second part of the game you're being followed by the guy in the trench coat?
I can't remember.
And you shoot him and nothing happens?
Oh, okay.
Picture that, but there's no loading screens for you to catch your breath. There's no loading screens in the game from door to door. It is so uncomfortable and just unpleasant. Like, there's a lot of times I had to pause to take a pit stop in the bathroom.
I agree with Quality Autism on that last one. Yeah, I saw that episode.
I did too. What's more disturbing is poor Macaulay Culkin's face while watching it. That really broke him.
Yeah. Yeah, the Red Letter Media's, they're awesome. They're funny.
I mean,
Have you watched anything from Red Letter Media? No.
You need to.
They're pretty good.
A lot of my humor around it.
They do like a roundtable type discussion after watching like usually 3 B movies.
But then
it's like like one of their series that they have. Best of the worst.
It's called Best of the Worst. And then like they started just because people give them videotapes that aren't necessarily movies, so they put them on like a wheel, like Wheel of Fortune, and they'd spin like and select 3 tapes that way.
Yeah.
One of them was a tape called Orgasmic Birth.
And it's like a guide on how to do that. And it's like, I mean, the videos they get would be like how to mow your yard or whatever.
Oh, yeah, there's all sorts of them. There's my favorite's still the Shoji Tabuchi show, where it's just an old folks concert. And it's just bizarre. Like, and the fact you can still buy the Shoji Tabuchi show on his website on VHS. I looked it up. I thought about it back in the day, but I'm like, no, I can't justify having this.
No.
I'm never going to watch it. It's just going to be on my shelf of my Phantom Menace piggy banks from my childhood.
Oh, gosh.
They
also have a thing, Adam, that Mr. Plinkett, it's like where they review things like Star Wars. You might have seen it before.
The 7-part Phantom Menace review.
It's pretty
sounds
popular.
Familiar.
It's very popular. The Plinkett reviews of I think they did all the Star Wars films, and they make very good points in a lot of their stuff.
They did all the prequels. They've done.
They had a good Ghostbusters 2016 rant, like somebody mentioned in the comments there.
I was going to ask you guys, what's the scariest movie you've seen recently?
The Invisible Man probably is the best horror movie I've seen in 10 years.
Okay.
For modern horror, gosh, I don't know. My problem is I know how a lot of the techniques work now, so like it's more I understand the craft and like appreciate the craft.
The most recent film.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be like that was made last year, like that you saw recently.
I would just say of like a current time period or whatever. The Witch.
Oh yeah, that was disturbing.
That was very disturbing.
That's on Netflix, right?
I think
Yeah,
so. It's got like two
go
V's,
watch
the
that.
W. Do what? Oh, we should have watched that.
We should do a watch along of The Witch. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
The remake of Suspiria was pretty freaky.
For me, there's two. The creepiest movie that I've seen in a while. You guys might disagree, but it freaked me out. It was Hereditary.
Yeah,
I didn't see it. I keep it here. I've heard so much about it. Like Quality Autism just said The Witch and Hereditary.
It was creepy. Like it was really, it was out there. Now this other one is it's on a streaming service on my Roku, and I found it. But it's hard to find. Like other than that, but I found it. It's called Lake Mungo.
I've never heard of it.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Chris Stuckman, like the YouTuber. He's a film critic, but he reviewed it, and I actually watched it, and it's actually really creepy. It's like a mockumentary type film, and if I ever, but I don't think there's like a DVD of it ever. I think it was like it's either on VHS or a streaming thing. But
okay,
well, at least it's on streaming. I get very sad when things don't get transferred from VHS.
I'm gonna
buy VCRs anymore.
I'm gonna look it up and see where it can be found.
Is it one of those like Crackle? I think that's like when it's focused on horror movies. I think, isn't it?
That's Shudder.
Shudder. What is Crackle? Is it in the
Crackle's
cartoon?
like everything.
Okay.
And then Crunchyroll is the anime.
Okay. Such a weird name.
Crackle or Crunchyroll?
All of them.
Crunchyroll is like a Japanese food thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crackle, I've never understood. Maybe it's the popcorn makes a crackling sound, pop sound, but maybe when you eat it, it can be considered a crackle. Maybe we're eating Crackle bars, the best Hershey's product ever made.
It's free on a streaming service called Tubi. It's also $4 on Amazon Prime Video and Vudu. So,
Voodoo?
Vudu.
Oh, okay.
Rob D, you haven't seen a disturbing movie until you've seen The Human Centipede. And then All American Cornbread says, Rob D, that movie is art.
No, wait until you watch Human Centipede 2 when they introduce liquid laxative.
Oh.
Okay.
It's so dumb. This movie's the dumbest thing. I remember it was a thing when I was in high school when those came out that you just watched them with your friends and you laughed. This is also the same era when everyone would go see Paranormal Activity and text in the theater and talk until like the music stopped, and then everyone would stand still and they wait and they wait. There'd be like a stupid jump scare. They go ah, and then they go back to texting and like talking on the phones.
One movie I forgot to mention, Wrong Turn. That one freaked me out.
The first one?
I think so. Like when they go to the cabin in the woods and
the inbred cannibals
For some reason, I don't even know how I would have known about inbred cannibals when I was a kid, but I remember we'd go to like my aunt's house, lived on the like border of a bunch of woods, and I always thought there's inbred cannibals out there. I don't know where I got that idea from, but then when I saw that movie, I was like, stuff from my nightmares.
A couple of years ago, me and my wife saw the remake of I Spit on Your Grave.
Oh.
I haven't heard of that one.
Like, as in a bad movie.
Made a joke about I Spit on Your Grave the other day, and no wonder you didn't react to it.
What?
Oh.
Well, the other day we were talking about like positive reviews for something. It was obviously never read it. What was the actual one? It was like to a book or something, where they said like it was family fun or something. It was actually like a true story about people who had died.
Alive. Yeah, we were talking about Alive.
Yeah. But I said something like, I spit on your grave, fun for the whole... No, I was Last House on the Left is what it was, but they're very similar movies. Last House on the Left, a heartwarming family picture.
Since we're on that subject, I want to get that book so we can talk about that. But you go ahead and finish.
I Spit on Your Grave. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen the original. I know I've seen the remake. The remake is incredibly over the top.
I've seen a little bit of the original.
The original. I want to say I've seen part of it as well. At least it's yeah. Well, it's the most notorious film of its subgenre.
It was. I was just like, ugh. I mean,
yeah. No, that's how you're supposed to feel.
I mean, oh my gosh.
I
don't recommend it. I don't recommend any of them. There's so many sequels too.
Yeah.
Here's this book, guys, in the chat, viewers. This thunderous entertainment, a classic human adventure, a narrative of terrific and endearing significance, from the New York Times. Alive, the story of the Andes survivors. Now, this is a true story. This is the story of what happened. There's a movie about it, okay? Alive. It's about this rugby team that crashes in the Andes Mountains. And, spoiler, they have to eat each other to survive. Like, oh, our friends are dead. What are we going to do? How are we going to live? There's nothing up here. It's just ice.
There's
dead bodies there. I guess we're going to have to eat some of them. And yeah, the New York Times. Thunderous entertainment. A classic human adventure. Okay.
You should be laughing, speaking ill of the dead, but that's pretty funny.
A masterpiece. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and this spawned a whole conversation between the three of us of like, let's put in movies and do misleading reviews for them.
Yeah. I mean, here's Newsweek says, a classic in the literature of survival.
That's better than the front one, but it's still bad.
It's like a horrific tale of,
That's like if someone took Mein Kampf and they said a fascinating political view. I mean, they're not wrong per se, but you're not going to put that on there.
Right. Quality Autism says, if you do a poll for the next watch along, I vote for Tartakovsky's. I can never say that name.
Tartakovsky's Clone Wars.
Only 2 hours long and complete on YouTube.
We watched it on there. Well, the thing is, TheGeeksAttic and I did that we didn't do a watch along, but we reviewed it on the Legends podcast.
Yeah, we did.
Way back.
That was a long time ago.
That was like at least 5 years ago.
I think I could find that at Vintage, actually, the DVDs.
Yeah, they're easy to find. At one time, I had 2 copies of each, but
at one time, I had them from when they first came out.
What? Fire?
Yeah.
I remember when the web series that came out each week.
Yeah. Those are good times.
Quality Autism. That was his review. Oh, wow. A delightful political struggle.
Quality Autism, you're from Germany, right? Isn't that book illegal in your country?
Probably not now.
Swastika is still illegal.
Oh.
I was gonna say,
I remember it was a big deal. Every World War II game that came out in Germany, it'd have to be censored.
It didn't.
Severely. I mean, Wolfenstein 3D was infamous over there. But then again, Australia has weird censorship things too, and they also have internet shortages because they're a weird country with marsupials and spiders that eat birds.
I was gonna say the other day on one of my live streams, I was talking about comic books, and I found when those 2 giant boxes of comics over there, I actually found a Batman comic that's written entirely in German. and I didn't notice it until I looked at it the other day.
I suggest just sitting there and typing every word bubble into Google Translate.
Just pull it up. Just have quality. Just you guys do a little hangout. Yeah, he'll read it to us. Translate it for us anyway.
It's like just like this is Audible on a budget.
Yeah. It'd be so tacky. But anyway, I think it'd probably be a good time to call it a night.
Yeah, I'm getting tired.
Swastikas are only censored in video games because games don't count as art.
Well.
Okay.
Interesting. But yeah, guys, pay attention for more details about the Paper Movies book club stuff. Get your copy of Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's also available in audiobook. So
next watch along double feature of Zardoz and Xanadu.
Oh gosh.
It's a dynamic duo.
Yeah. You can cleanse our palate with Tarkovsky's Clone Wars.
Yeah, that actually would be fun to rewatch.
Yeah.
I started rewatching it last year, actually.
Yeah. But yeah, get that book for May. Read it through the month of May. And
Waru be with you.
Do what? Oh gosh, no. I don't want Waru with me. And Ghostbusters 2016. No, guys. But anyway,
Waru flow walk with me.
Don't forget to go and follow these guys, these bozos that I brought over here.
Yeah.
Friends Nerd Pub. Stupid.
I'll probably won't have a mustache by next time.
This
was pretty much a mistake on my part.
Pedo beard, pedo face, whatever.
It's weird that I'm the one with the least amount of facial hair.
Yeah.
It's
weird. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's weird that I'm the one with the least amount of hair.
I didn't think you were gonna do that.
Just take it off of there and just put it there.
I'd probably be like,
yeah.
Like one of the guys from Duck Dynasty or something.
Yeah.
You just comb it and it comes over the head?
All the way down to where it just covers through the beard. It is the beard.
I saw this. I was gonna say I saw this guy with like a beard down to here in a video, and he was just like looking at a face mask. He was just like, he takes out an army helmet, covers his whole face with his beard, and puts sunglasses on. He's like,
wow. Do you guys have anything that you need to like tease or anything?
I have another review coming out for Jaws, the novel.
Sweet.
And I am almost done with the script, finishing out typing out my notes on that. And me and my wife are planning to record another podcast sometime this weekend.
Sweet. Jeremy, anything you got coming?
Someday,
yeah.
I'm not going to say anything's coming out right away because I'm working on a paper, 2 papers. Okay. So hopefully next week something will come out.
Okay, good. I've got a couple book reviews I got to get done.
Also, we're doing a stream Saturday, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to do that. As I recall, we were going to do that. This is what we're doing in quarantine stream.
I thought that was Sunday.
That's fine, too. It is Sunday. I remember now. Yeah. I initially said Saturday or Sunday, and you all said Sunday.
Okay.
In the evening.
Oh. Okay. Well, everybody, thanks for joining. Had fun watching Evil Dead and talking Star Wars and other stuff.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah. Have a good one, everybody.
Later.
Hit that in button.